everybody, and welcome to Off the Shelf Reviews' first ever podcast.
Does that mean we're going to do more, Ian?
Well, hopefully, depending on how well this one does.
Oh.
My name is Ian Buckingham. I'm one half of the host here at Off the Shelf Reviews, and I'm joined by my tag team partner, Gary Nichols.
Hello, everyone.
And like I said, today is our first podcast, really. You know, we just wanted to try something new as it's 2017. It's a new year. We just wanted to see how we could actually get this to work, if this actually works.
That's right. And for those that are new to the channel, I just want to say welcome to Off the Shelf Reviews.
Yep.
We've been doing film reviews and uploading videos every Thursday for quite some time now.
About 5 years.
Nearly 5 years, and it's been amazing. We kind of grew from nothing.
Yes.
And we noticed that we may have got 20 views on a video on its upload day. I considered that lucky.
Yes,
that we were found at all. And, you know, we spammed ourselves out to Facebook and Twitter and we've tried to branch out. And before you knew it, we had people sharing our videos and leaving comments. We've grown since. And I like to think we've sort of humbly grown into what we are now.
Yeah. Back in the day when we first started, we wanted to become famous like overnight. Like a lot of people said we should be. We should be putting loads of money into it. We should have massive productions. We should be doing special effects and all this other stuff. And I remember saying at the time, no, we can't afford that. We don't want to put ourselves into debt with that kind of stuff. Let's just grow naturally. And it's been something that we've stuck by. You know, whenever we get a film, we sit down, we watch it, we make notes, and then when we sit down in front of the camera, we just talk.
There's no edit. Well, we don't edit ourselves, technically. We just film it in one shot. And if we didn't get it, we kind of didn't get it.
Yeah. and you know, when we say we don't edit ourselves, we do. We cut out the ums and the ahs and the sneezes and the coughs.
We do try.
Yeah. But it's really just us.
Yes.
Our personalities, talking about the films. Sometimes, I'll have to admit, from a personal point of view, some people just don't get me. You know, they sit there and they go, oh, that Ian, he's a fucking idiot. And I go, well, yes, you may think that, but I'm sure we can get to know each other.
I don't understand how you couldn't like Audition, Ian. It's just a
masterpiece. Man, you're going to bring that up right at the start of the review. But just as a forewarning, before we get too far into doing this podcast, I will have to put this in now. I am a swearer. And some of my views are a bit controversial, so I try not to offend anybody majorly unless you're a racist or a sexist bigot or just a generalized piece of shit. If you're a generalized piece of shit, I'm going to have a go at you. But if you're a nice person and we can get along talking about certain films, then we're going to get along fine.
Yeah, I don't understand how anyone could not have a problem with you, Ian. I don't. So, as I was saying, we upload film reviews on Thursdays.
Yes.
And for the last 2 years now, we've been uploading gaming videos on Friday. And still played around with the name. Is it Gaming Friday? Is it Friday Gaming? What the hell happened to Sequential Saturdays Gaming?
Sequential Saturdays were going really, really well up until I got another job. And then my work turned into pretty much my whole life. I work 7 days a week. I work 3 different jobs over that week. And then on top of that, I've got to come over to see Gary and we've got to record a review. And sometimes I'll jump into the gaming reviews on Fridays if we've got time to record before I have to go off to another job. And I really, really want to get back into sequential gaming. But, you know, as a responsible adult that I pretend to be on some days, priorities come first. And if it was a choice between working and making money to support my family and things like that, or gaming, and I mean, this isn't a dig at anybody, you know, but we don't get that much money from what we do. It's not something that we really expect a lot. We
never started for the money, really.
No,
it was just an idea. So
yeah, it was just a bonus, you know. Yeah. YouTube gives you the chance to put adverts onto your videos, and Facebook says about, you know, pay us a bit of money and we'll advertise you more, and that's always good. But I personally cannot, you know, not work to support my family and just be gaming all the time. As much as I'd love to, I'd get divorced and probably lose access to my son. And so I'm like, no,
Yeah.
family comes first.
Absolutely. It must. It must.
I can't say anything for Gary, though, because, Gary can't play computer games.
Or I can. I just can't hold a conversation very well playing a video game that I have to concentrate on, unless it's a game I've played an awful lot. And it's something that throughout the last few years of our Gaming Friday videos, or some of the sequential ones, it is something that I've mentioned a couple of times, that it can be very difficult to hold a conversation and play a video game and try and make what you're playing and saying entertaining to someone who's watching.
Yes.
And so trying to do it solo means you're holding a conversation with yourself, obviously knowing that you have an audience listening to you, but also making sure that they're visually entertained as well, so that you're not hiding behind a bookcase while you talk and finish a conversation. And so I'm always weary of that. And so I've always found that I work best when I have somebody I can get an answer back to, because whilst that person's replying or making a statement, my brain can very quickly focus on the task at hand, which is the game, in order to keep that going. And so I don't like to do solo videos. Thankfully, for every Friday video, obviously Jeff, we'll talk about him a little bit later on in the podcast, is also very, very busy. And so pinning him down, we used to have a very set date to record Gaming Fridays video. And often or not, Gaming Fridays videos are recorded the day before and edited and uploaded by midnight, about sometimes just a couple of hours before that video goes live.
Yes, and I've got to give you an applause for that, Gary, because you are the man behind some of the hard work. When we've got a review going up on a Thursday, but it's still got loose frames and the audio's all over the place, and it's just not going to be ready. Gary is the one who goes,
well, the description shares last week's description.
Well, that's your mistake for copy pasting the one from the week before and not checking it. And then I've got to ring you at 7:30 in the morning, like, dude, seriously, you've got to change the description.
Hopefully no one notices. Oh, they notice, Ian.
Yes.
They notice.
One thing I want to bring up, though, is that you just brought up how I can't like Audition. I can't understand how you didn't like Catherine.
Oh, well, did I just explain that it's impossible to hold a conversation and play a game, yet alone play that fucking game?
I played it.
Well, yeah.
I was doing fine.
All right, fine. You win this round. So, the podcast is, we're going to break it down into segments, Ian.
Yes.
The first segment, as has just been, we're just going to introduce ourselves and recap on what's going on in our lives.
Yes.
Segment 2 is going to be, segment 1, improper, is going to be film news and film trailers for upcoming films that we're excited.
Yes.
Because obviously we kind of review a lot of films that have already been out a long time. It's where the name of the channel came from, that it was coming off the shelf.
Yes.
We ventured into reviewing a couple of movie releases as they came.
Yeah.
But, we tend to stay away from those.
We stay away from doing new releases because, well, we hate spoilers.
Yes.
And it's really hard to review a brand new film that's out and not talk about favourite scenes, actors, actresses, spoilers, and things you liked and disliked. Because for me personally, I don't listen to podcasts or reviews about new films.
Yeah.
I Wikipedia them instead.
That drives me mad, Ian. I just don't understand.
Because it's a personal thing. It's like reading a book. For me, it's like I've just bought the book of the film off a shelf and now I'm reading it, and so I can find out how.
So you start at the back page.
Yeah, I do that with all my books. Every book I have, I'll skip to the end, read the last page. And then my brain's kind of like, oh, I wonder how they got there. And so then I've got to go back and I've got to read the rest of the book. But, podcasting when you're talking about a new film is difficult. I remember we went and saw, a few years ago, we went and saw the Evil Dead remake when that came out. And we came back and we did a video for it. And we immediately and stuck it up. And the funny thing is, I have not watched The Evil Dead since we watched it in the cinema.
Me either.
I've bought it on DVD and it's still sat on my shelf. But in my mind, I'm just like, is it going to be better or worse than when I first watched it? And I feel that's the same when you get a review and you've watched somebody talk about this new film that they've gone and seen. how is it going to be for you when you get into it? And will your attitude change the second, third, fourth, fifth time that you go and watch that film? Or are you just going to avoid that film just because somebody says to you, oh, I just went and saw the new fucking Star Wars movie and I didn't like it? You know, you get people out there who go, oh, well, I'm not going to watch it now because he's not going to see it and he's like my best buddy on the internet. Well, no, you've got to make your own decision and choice about it. So even films that I Wikipedia, I will still go and watch to see how, visually, what my imagination took the words and how it developed into the film.
Of course, yeah. And, you know, as in regards to not reviewing new releases as well, is it's what we like to do for our review channel is on each film review, we have nearly all the content from the film. It's obviously always chopped up.
Yes.
But at least we get to highlight and use examples of what we're talking about. Whereas with new film releases, it's impossible to get some of the clips that you need unless it's promotional clips.
Yeah.
And oftentimes those promotional clips come with copyright ID claims.
Yeah.
And whatnot, which just runs into other problems. And often or not, when you're trying to release a review of a new release, the internet is filled with releases, with reviews about those films right now. Whereas reviews about old films, or especially my favourite area, films from the 80s and the 90s. You know, those reviews are not as prevalent as new releases are today.
Oh, yeah, big example. It's fucking Curse of the Queer Wolf.
Exactly.
You know, when people say to us, oh, I've got this film that you guys have got to see, we research it. You know, we check it out. We find a version of the film that we can watch. And because you've never seen it, you're sitting in there with a complete fresh mind. I remember, you know, like I said, when we were asked to do Curse of the Queer Wolf, we were like, what the fuck? What the hell? Who's made this film? Where's it come from? This can't be real. You know, and then we researched it and we were like, okay, this might go into some territory which might be a bit difficult for us. And yeah, if you've seen the review, we came out having such a ball. I
still need to see the Polish Vampire in Burbank, I think it's called.
Yeah, but like you said, that's what I feel is also good for Off the Shelf, is that we stem away from the big names, mainly because we'll wait for those films to come out, get a bit of a release, and then we'll sit down and watch it.
Let them age a little bit.
Yeah, you know, watching films from back in the day. You know, when you were 11, 12, 13, you've gone into your video store, you've picked a film off the shelf and you've watched it, and then you don't hear or see it for another 20 to 30 years, and then you sit down and watch it and go, it doesn't stand up to like it was when I first watched it, or oh my god, this film is groundbreaking for its time and didn't get the applause that it should have got. You know, that's what I think is sometimes one of the major roots for Off the Shelf for us.
Definitely. So segment 1 is going to be film trailers and news.
Yeah.
Segment 2 is going to be interchangeable. Should we continue making more podcasts down the line? Section 2 is going to be interchangeable. It's going to be a theme that we're just going to discuss. And obviously, with it being the start of a new year, we're going to look back at 2016 and give our impressions of the best games and films of 2016.
Yes.
And the third and final segment of the podcast will be responding to viewer comments and questions.
Yes, and we'd like obviously people to drop those comments and questions into the comments section so that we can check it out. We can add to it or answer it the next time we bring up the podcast. Hopefully we get more time to record more podcasts in the future. Like I said, with my work and all that stuff all over the place, it's difficult. So if when this one goes out, you write the message, but the next podcast doesn't go out until the next month or whatever, don't worry. We still see your question. We will still answer it in the next podcast. We'll just have more time to think up an intelligent answer, shall we say?
Instead of just coming right off one on the cuff.
yeah, winging it.
Okay, so that's going to bring us into our first segment, Ian, which is going to be film news and trailers.
Ah, yes.
Now, the first bit of news I want to bring up is it's something that I'm sort of interested in.
Yes.
Expendables 4. Oh, did you really think there was going to be an Expendables 4?
You'll be surprised. Yes.
Well, it looks like Sylvester Stallone is getting the troupe back together again. And he's still not sure whether he's going to be directing it himself.
Yeah.
But he's definitely going to be leading the cast once more. And it's still questionable right now as to how much of the cast is going to return.
Yeah.
Obviously, we still had Wesley Snipes, who they broke out of jail in the last
well,
film.
Well, spoilers ahead. I haven't seen Expendables 3 yet.
Oh, sorry.
But you can still talk about it, because I mean, I'm assuming that in Expendables 3 the same kind of recipe is happening. You know, they get their group together.
Set piece for destruction.
Set piece of destruction. Hundreds of thousands of soldiers who are just doing their normal job get fucking nailed by Wesley Snipes, Sylvester Stallone, Jason Statham, Jet Li, Dolph Lundgren, Mel Gibson, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis,
Van Damme,
fucking
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. Before you know it, Demi Moore will be in it. Fucking Melanie Griffith. Fucking Jamie Lee Curtis. You just... what I would be surprised is if they bring up...
Expendables. It's kind of been floating around for a while, but it's not really gestated into anything.
I like that, Expendables. That's brilliant.
So, I don't know whether Expendables 4 will get made and released 2017, but I mean, these guys are getting on. I don't know how much longer they're going to be able to keep this joke going.
Well, I think what would be best is that if they're going to keep the Expendables lineage going, well,
I guess young actors will get older, so if they want to keep making Expendables movies every couple of years,
they should bring in new.
There'll be a carousel of aging actors
just getting killed off. But that's something cool, I suppose, because like you said, coming off the cuff of the 80s and 90s, when you saw an Arnie movie or Bruce Willis movie or Mel Gibson or any of the big stars, it was a rarity if they died.
Oh, yes.
At the end. With the Expendables, there's an opening for them to die off and to give the new troop a reason to go after these bad guys, because you don't want it to go too stale.
Yeah.
You know, and my thing is that if you get to a trilogy, the third one's never as good as the first or second one. And if you extend further than that third one, then you are going into foggy territory, because you've done all of your big major things in the first, second and third one. How do you follow that on? So to bring in new stars and to maybe kill off or retire the older stars, it then relies on the audience to realize, I'm not coming to see the Expendables for Sylvester Stallone or Arnie or Mel Gibson. I'm coming to see the Expendables. The group, the team. I want to see the bad guy they're going up against. We want to see set pieces fucking explode all over the place, gunfire going off all over the place. You know, I'm a big fan of Terry Crews. And honestly, if Terry Crews is in Expendables 4, I want to see him with a big ass gun blasting people left and right.
Well, you're just going to have to go back and watch Expendables 3.
Oh!
So next up in the newsbeat is Ben Affleck. Now,
yes.
I don't think we've reviewed a single Ben Affleck film. Oh,
Phantoms.
Yeah, he was the bomb.
He was the bomb in Phantoms. Yeah.
And since then, Affleck's gone on to play Batman.
Yes.
In Batman vs Superman. What did you think of that, Ian?
I really, really enjoyed it, but that personally, I'm a sucker for comic book movies. I always have been ever since I was a kid, and I watched Batman 1989. You know, seeing Batman on screen was a big deal. Watching Superman, Christopher Reeve was a big deal. So, as time has gone on, I'm a big fan of Superman Returns.
Yes,
you know,
yeah. There's a lot in that film to like, and there's also a lot to...
Yes, but this will bring me up to my own point. For my Christmas, I got the Superman and Batman DVD collections, and I watched Superman 4, The Quest for Peace.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, well, this is it. I really, really enjoyed it, but I still sat there smacking myself in the head and shaking my head like, really? But that's an example for why I don't have such a big deal when it comes to newer films coming out. You know, people go and watch Batman vs Superman, and they go, "Oh, that film was so fucking shit. The story is so stupid." I'm like, watch Superman 4, and Batman vs Superman will look like a fucking Oscar-winning piece.
Watch Batman and Robin.
Watch Batman and Robin. I took my son to go see Batman vs Superman, and the film was really, really good, but what made the film even better was the fact that when Batman got into his Batmobile and was chasing after those guys and blowing them all up to pieces, I turned to look at my son, and his mouth was just down. He was like in shock over how awesome it was. And I'm like, he's 7. And if he's really enjoying himself, then I'm enjoying myself. And then I turn back to watch the film. He doesn't get the conversational pieces or the build up, the story. He doesn't care. He just wants to see Batman and Superman beat the shit out of each other. So I'm like, yeah, come on, let's just do it. I liked Lex Luthor. I suppose I've always enjoyed Lex Luthor being the bad guy.
It turns out that he's called Alexander Luthor, and the film, and I can't remember if it's in the original cut or the director's cut, but it turns out that he's Lex Luthor's son. No, so he's not really.
Really,
yes.
I thought he was.
No, he's
Lex.
not. He's not Lex as we know him.
See, I also read
that explains the difference in characterization for him.
I read somewhere else as well that the Joker was supposed to be in the film, but they cut him out, and so it kind of like integrated Lex Luthor and the Joker together.
It's the connection everyone made. It was that this was not the smart, calculated Lex Luthor, even though elements of the script allowed him to be. He was much more over the top and exaggerated.
Yes.
And had very much had that Joker, that Heath Ledger sort of presentation to his delivery, which was just made him off kilter.
Yeah, it just seemed a little bit crazy, like he could snap at any point.
Yeah. So I had problems with his character for sure, but I gotta say I've seen Batman vs Superman 3 times.
Nice.
I've seen the normal cut.
Yeah.
Then I watched the director's cut, and then I watched the director's cut with Jeff.
Yeah.
And Jeff enjoyed a lot of the film until he got to the point where he was like, "Don't understand it. This is pathetic. Superman could have flown through Batman no matter what he was wearing and incinerated him instantly."
Oh, he kept shooting him with those fucking kryptonite gas pellets.
Yeah, but.
But what? He shot him with kryptonite gas pellets. This is Superman's weakness.
Superman can fight intergalactic gods and survive so much. Yeah, but when it comes to Batman, it's like, no, Batman's the favourite. So Batman wins.
Batman's a badass, though. He's constantly always saying he's just a man. Yeah. But he's one of...
And that's the reason why everyone likes him as well. Yes, because he doesn't have the superpowers that the others have, other than superior ninja training.
If Superman is a badass, he's not as smart as Batman.
Yeah, Batman's the world's greatest detective.
Yeah, so he investigates, he plans, he's got everything picked out to a point, especially in that last fight sequence that him and Superman have. It's that Batman, when he stood on that building looking at Superman, he's not scared.
No.
He is not scared because he has got the fight planned down meticulously all the way to the point where he's got Superman on his back and he's about to stab him in the face with a kryptonite spear. Now, if you've got a problem with Batman overpowering Superman, then you really shouldn't be watching comic book movies because this stuff happens all the time. Your big superhero gets his fucking ass handed to him 9 out of 10 times. You look at any of the Spider-Man movies by Sam Raimi, all the way towards the end, Spider-Man's doing all those things, and then he's getting weaker and tireder, and the enemy gets the advantage.
But then the hero overcomes.
And the hero overcomes, yeah.
Yeah, it's a tried and tested formula, and I honestly didn't have a problem with any of those aspects in Batman vs Superman. I was really entertained by it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Wonder Woman. She was the thing I was getting.
Wonder Woman! Oh my god, yes. Gal Gadot, yes.
Gal Gadot, yes. Yeah, oh my god.
My god.
When she was cast, I was just like, DC, you fucking morons. Like, come on. She looks nothing. Well, her face, maybe, looks okay as for Wonder Woman, but she's tiny.
Yeah.
She's the frailest, skinniest catwalk model you could get for Wonder Woman, but
she's beefed up.
I don't know, man. She really worked in that.
She has beefed up. I think nowadays, especially in comic book movies, actors and actresses are taking the time to research the parts that they're playing. You know, if only Halle Berry had done that in the Catwoman movie, you know, you'd realise that film just. And that's why this is my point, is that when people sit there and go, oh well, you know, I'm not too big of a fan of Wonder Woman, I'm like, have you seen Catwoman? Go watch fucking Catwoman and then come back and Gal Gadot will look like a fucking empress.
Exactly. There's always the yin and the yang. There's always the good and the bad.
Yes.
So anyway, going back to the news story, is that Ben Affleck, when he was cast as Batman, I was just like, okay, I can see it working. Yeah. And everybody was venomous about it. Oh, the initial reaction was horrible. And I was like, give it a chance. And I thought his portrayal of Bruce Wayne
Yes.
and Batman was solid. Really enjoyed it.
He was the aged, brooding detective, you know?
I really liked his portrayal. And the news broke that Ben Affleck was going to be directing the next Batman solo movie in the DC universe, as well as playing Batman.
What has Ben Affleck directed?
Ben Affleck has he's directed at least 3 movies over the last 5 years that I've seen that blew my mind.
Didn't he do Good Will Hunting as well? Or did he write that?
I think he wrote that with Matt Damon.
With Matt Damon, yeah.
But I think it was Argo. I think was his other one with the terrorists.
That was Oscar
and the film
winning.
group. That was Oscar winning. And he did a couple of other films. I think they were like Boston set crime dramas.
Yeah.
But they were so compelling. I never, ever expected to see something of that caliber of filmmaking come from Ben Affleck. You know, the dude from Armageddon. You know, the guy from Phantoms.
Yeah, but see, now this is the thing, is that people forget that Ben Affleck has got the experience. He's got the wisdom. He's got fucking Kevin Smith on speed dial, you know? And we're talking Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith has made a lot of fucking movies. To be able to call on somebody like that just for a bit of advice and wisdom of how you direct the scene or how you act, people don't give Ben Affleck enough credit.
No, well, I think certain people that have come to understand, or have at least watched his other films, have realised that there's more to him than the pretty looks that they remember him from the late 90s.
Yes.
But the word has come out that he may now not be directing the next Batman solo film, which it just looks like that DC bubble that I thought might still have a chance with that Ben Affleck solo film. It's now for me just crumbled and cracked into dust.
Well.
Now he said he's not necessarily not going to do it.
Yeah.
But he's just said that it was his words was that's the idea that he would direct it.
Yeah.
But it was never set in stone
Because he's got a star in it as well.
because he will be starring in it, and it is that much work. But he's also said that there's no script, and he's not going to sign on to direct a film to which there is no script.
Yeah.
And so he said if the
script
script is not good, he's contractually obliged to act in it, but he doesn't have to put his name as a director on it.
Right,
Now,
yeah.
As an actor, and being of the caliber of director Ben Affleck is, he can definitely add his slant to it.
Yeah.
But it's just making sure that his name doesn't get put on it. And that for me is an alarm bell. Obviously the script's not done yet, so no comment can be made on it, but it's just, I'm worried because I'm also, at this point in time, a little bit sick of superhero movies, and was hoping that an Affleck-directed Batman film would actually bring me back into enjoying these superhero films again.
Yeah, but you got to be careful as well. I mean, like we said, Ben Affleck is going to be directing it. He's going to be acting in it. He'll probably have a part in the editing process as well to make sure that the scenes all sync up. And
most directors will have the storyboard or a good idea of the direction and the editing. Yeah.
Yeah, but with the way that the internet is nowadays, and the way people react to films before, and this takes me back to when you hear reviews about it as soon as the film comes out. You know, all you have to have is your name attached to it, and people will slander you for absolutely nothing, even if you didn't take part in the editing. I mean, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, when that came out, people were like, "Oh my god, this is another Michael Bay piece of shit." Michael Bay didn't even direct it; he just produced it.
Yeah,
and the producer just goes, "Here's some money."
Yeah. Well, the producer makes sure that everything's balanced. He turns up on set and also makes sure that the film is following the studio's goal for what the film product should be.
But he's not behind the camera.
No,
and he's not telling the actors what they need to do. So when Turtles came out and it got the bad press it did,
the aim went immediately to Michael Bay because he is an easily accessible, identifiable person to hate on for ruining everyone's childhoods.
Well, he never ruined my childhood.
No, your childhood still exists.
Yeah, my childhood still exists. People are like, "Oh my god, he ruined Transformers, he ruined Turtles." I'm like, you're going to see a film about giant fucking robots or mutant turtles. What are you expecting? I'm expecting mutant turtles to beat the crap out of people.
The only thing they want it to be, though, I understand that they want it to be faithful to what existed before. And studios, for whatever reason, have decided that whatever worked back then doesn't work anymore, so they'll change it. And one of my favourite things one of my favorite cartoons growing up was the real Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
And that was so successful that the studio intervened and went, you're fired, and now we're going to put it in Slimer in the real Ghostbusters because that's what the kids want.
Yeah.
And it failed, and that's because of producers.
Yeah,
and the studio trying to meddle. So I can understand that can happen.
Yeah.
But I also understand that Michael Bay, I started to ease off the guy when I watched Black Sails. Or was it Black Flags? I can't remember. It's the Amazon Pirates TV series.
Yeah.
Possibly the final season is about to start this year, and he's a producer on that show. And I absolutely love that show.
So, that's what I'm saying, is that, just because your name is attached to it doesn't mean that you got to get all the hate or all the praise. You're just putting your hand in to say, look, I'm just helping this out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm helping this out.
So yeah, I'm a little bit worried about the next Batman film, but
it's Batman, dude.
Yeah, it's
Batman.
It's still going to be Batman.
Batman.
And finally, in the film news, and this goes as well. There's so many. 2016 is known as the year of the death of celebrities.
Yes.
And we lost a pretty big one right at the end of the year with Carrie Fisher.
Yes.
And obviously with the last Star Wars movie coming out, where she sort of has a CGI-ish appearance.
I want to say cameo, but she's supposed to be in it.
Well, of course.
She's supposed to lead into the next film, so it's like, was it really a cameo? Yeah, Carrie Fisher. Oh man, when my wife said to me, "Look, Carrie Fisher's had a heart attack," I didn't say this to anybody, but I was just like, "Well, she's gonna die," and that was because in my experience of when a celebrity is rushed to hospital for something, they're usually out within 4 or 5 hours. The press has got them, they're walking out, a couple of pictures, stuff like that. Carrie Fisher had a heart attack on a plane, and that was it. You didn't hear anything. And that's what worried me. I was just like, they're not releasing this information because she's in a critical condition and people were going to start to worry. And would it affect the release of Rogue One? Would I don't want to say people boycott it, but would they be wary about going to see it if their favourite celebrity, a lot of Star Wars fans' favourite celebrity, was in a critical condition? It was very sad, but then I realised, actually, she's not just Princess Leia. I mean, she is...
For the majority of everyone on planet Earth.
Yeah, she is Princess Leia, one of the...
most identifiable actresses ever.
Yeah, but one of the first, one of the first strong female characters.
Absolutely. She took charge. She took care of herself.
Yeah, when you see her in New Hope, Princess Leia is giving shit to Han Solo, who's supposed to be this badass rogue. She's giving him grief. She's firing off a laser gun, better shot than Luke Skywalker. The way that she runs the rebels in Empire and telling them to get to their ships and we've got to do this, and the whole love sequence with Han. And then to be able to stand in Return of the Jedi in a gold bikini and to carry that gold bikini for almost 30 years and be remembered by, you're like, oh my God, that's amazing. But I realised that she was in Harry Met Sally.
Yes, yeah.
That's another great film. Drop Dead Fred.
I can't believe you mentioned Drop Dead Fred.
She's in Drop Dead Fred. I'm like, Carrie Fisher was not just Princess Leia. She was a phenomenal actress.
Remember from Blues Brothers.
Oh God, with the rocket launcher.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally forgot. But it's a shame, and it's a shame as well about her mum.
Yes, yeah, the very next day.
Her mum
passed away, another incredible actress as well.
And it's when my wife said to me, "Oh, her mum's passed," I said, I said before I looked at the news reports, I bet she died of a broken heart.
It could be, yeah. They were very close.
They were very close. And when you lose your child, which is heartbreaking to anybody, it's very hard to just carry on.
Yeah.
Day to day, all your friends and family are there to help you and stuff like that. But if you've got this routine with your child who's calling you every day, talking to you, find out how you're going, and then they're not there anymore, it's like a hole.
I totally understand that. And her mother was also, I think she was at the age of 90 or at least approaching.
Yeah.
So it's very sad, and it just comes as the bookend almost to a very tragic year for celebrities.
Yes.
But I said this when throughout the year when celebrities were dying, I was like, well, celebrities are a new thing, really.
Yeah.
So it's going to happen more and more. It's not
Yeah.
ever going to subside from here on out.
That was my attitude when David Bowie passed in January. You know, people were like, "Oh my God, David Bowie's died," and I'm like, "He's not immortal."
No.
Even though we hoped they would be and they would live forever.
Their music, I always say, their music
Yes.
lives on. The films that they portrayed live on.
Yes.
You know, art lives on so long as people still enjoy it.
Yeah, we did the same thing with Alan Rickman. You know, when Alan Rickman passed, we were like, we're going to do Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
You know, and we saved it for Christmas. We purposely saved it for Christmas. We went and did
Die Hard for Christmas.
We Die Hard. No,
yeah.
We purposely saved Die Hard for Christmas. But Alan Rickman, to me, yeah, okay, he's dead. Hans Gruber is very much still alive until he falls off the tower at the end. And you always, when you see Alan Rickman's face, you're just like, that's a dude down there. That's a badass dude, yeah.
So celebrities are going to keep dropping as the years go on, and we keep making more celebrities, and
yes,
time moves on.
Some of them we would like to go, like Donald Trump.
We're not getting political.
Not yet.
No, not ever. Hopefully, unless the film we talk about is political, which is going to bring us into film trailers. I've got 4 trailers that I want to talk about, Ian.
Okay.
And I know that one of them, very much everyone on the channel has been asking us about.
Yes.
And we'll start with it because it released on Christmas Day.
Oh, yes.
And it was like a Christmas present to all sci-fi fans. Or was it?
Yes.
Alien Covenant.
Yes.
It's coming out May 19th, 2017. And if this film has a midnight release screening, I'm going in.
Right, okay.
You have to. This is what, Alien 4... 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the 8th Alien film.
I suppose
it
is an alien film.
It is the 8th Alien film.
It is an alien film.
But it is the 6th Alien film in the 20th Century Fox canon.
Yeah.
And the trailer. I'm happy. I was happy to see Michael Fassbender returning as David.
Yes.
He's my favourite character in Prometheus.
Yeah.
But it was very interesting. Michael Fassbender, I was really enjoying his acting. I thought he was great as Magneto. Until I saw X-Men Apocalypse, and again, my evaluation of all superhero movies had dropped down.
Yeah, all right.
Michael Fassbender just went and did Assassin's Creed, and did it break the mold of video games to movie adaptations? Did it fuck?
Well, no. It stayed the same line as movie game adaptations. They basically took all the cool stuff from the game and then added in the story, and you realise why the story of the game makes... When you have the story in the game, it's fine because it's a game. You can just switch it off. When it's in a film and they're talking for 25 minutes, you're like, for fuck's sake, we just start stacking this. Hold X, press start, do something. I don't know. Yeah, Michael Fassbender. I've always liked him. You know, like I said, Magneto as well. Seeing him in Assassin's Creed, I'm not a fan of the Assassin's Creed games. I love stealth games, but to me, Assassin's Creed was never a stealth game. Far too many times I was watching people play it where they would sneak into the city, in this beautiful built city with all these characters all over the place, and you could camouflage yourself into the groups of people, and then you get to the person that you're supposed to take out, and then you stab them in front of like 300 people, and then it goes into a cut sequence where they talk to you as they die. And I'm like, right, okay, so now what? Oh, now we've got to escape. Really? Yeah, watch. And you watch them run, being chased by guards and civilians, and pretty much proving destruction among the city. And then you get on a horse and you ride away, and I'm like, let's
turn that into a movie.
Yeah, why did you hide that whole time to get into the city? Why didn't you just run along the rooftops, stab the guy, and run on the rooftops all the way back out?
You can do that if you're an expert player.
Yeah, if you're an expert player, yeah. But getting back to Alien Covenant.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, we saw Michael Fassbender.
Well, it looks like there's now 2 Michael Fassbenders in the movie, because we have a David in all white, and we have a David in a hoodie, Lord of...
Yeah, I thought I saw David or being captain of the car.
Maybe David is with... Maybe this new crew has a David, and they go and find the other David.
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe one David gets corrupted again, and we never actually find out what happened to Naomi Rapace and Michael Fassbender from Prometheus.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just hear something about them.
Yeah, recording or something. To me, at first, when I first watched it, I didn't like it. And then I liked it for the same reason why I didn't like it. It's because it reminded me too much of Alien.
Totally. Again, there's
We've
so
got
many beats for beats.
We've got a tug in space. We've
Yeah.
got a crew on it who are all friendly and family-esque and working together. You know, they come to a strange planet. There's an alien derelict on board, and then they all just start getting kind of killed off.
Well, if it looks like some sort of spore goes flying through the air and into one of their ears.
Yeah, into one of
So
their ears.
is this the
Something's
black
coming out of a
funk
guy
again?
back.
It looks like instead of a chest burster, we have a spine burster.
but this is something I thought of after I saw the trailer. We call the aliens xenomorphs.
Right.
Now, xenomorphs is a scientific term, I believe.
Yeah.
Not purposely labeled for the alien, but I can't
It's a
look
characteristic
up.
of the alien.
It's a
xenomorph.
characteristic of a creature that adapts and changes its form, right?
Yeah.
And that made me go back to Prometheus, and I thought, well, hold on a minute, then that means the thing at the end of Prometheus was a xenomorph.
Yeah, it was.
Just not the recognizable one that we always attached to.
absolutely, yeah.
So in a way, Ridley Scott has taken the xenomorph idea, adapted it so that you still have a xenomorph, just not one that is instantly recognizable to all the other films from the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Well, as I said in the Prometheus review, Ridley Scott was done with Alien. He saw what happened with Aliens, and he was like, "Bravo, James Cameron, you followed my film up spectacularly." He didn't like Alien 3. He thought Alien 4 was a joke, and
Yeah.
and what he thought about the AVP films was enough for Ridley Scott to never want to make an Alien film again, because it was a cartoon.
Yeah.
You weren't scared of the alien anymore.
No.
And so when he made Prometheus, he didn't want to make an Alien film.
Yeah.
Obviously, word came out that Neil Blomkamp is making Alien 5,
Yeah.
which is the sequel to Aliens,
Yeah,
imagining Alien 3 and 4 didn't happen.
I can't do that.
Well, that is happening. Well, it was happening, and then 20th Century Fox put that on hold because there was a lot of reaction. Everyone was super excited. They were like, holy shit, and a sequel to Aliens? Fuck yeah, sign us up. And so everyone was like, aliens, 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 aliens. And so Fox was like, all right, we're going to not cancel, we're just going to hold
Yeah.
Alien 5
Yeah.
and go, Ridley, your Prometheus 2 is now Alien Covenant.
Yeah.
And the Xenomorphs are going in because, look, there is a legion of people that want to see the Xenomorph
Yes,
back. They want
yes.
to see the aliens. So I'm worried that Alien Covenant is going to be another mesh of Ridley Scott trying to do his thing
Yeah.
and the studio going, we want to see the alien and the Xenomorph back. We want to test the water because
Yeah.
if this does really well, then Neil Blomkamp's greenlit Alien 5 gets an extra fucking $100 million budget
Yeah.
to do what it needs to do. Who knows?
For me, Covenant looks nice. If they stick to what made Alien really good and take away firepower. To make the alien scary, you've got to make the alien the big fucking evil. Take away the guns. Take away the special equipment that allows you to see them. Just have the creature sneaking and dropping. That's what made Alien 3 really
But
good.
the thing is, you could have given all of those inmates pulse rifles.
Yeah.
You know, but the alien isn't, for the most part, it's not going to run right at them. If it knows it's the only one, it will go for all those stealth kills.
Yeah.
It will take them out without even being shot at.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think having the weapons in there can make the characters feel a little bit safer, although they're not going to be. Watching this trailer, I cannot help but feel that Alien has fallen into its own genre, and the fact that this is just a slasher movie in space.
Well, as long as they don't fucking...
We have two characters what appear to be having sex in a shower room, and the alien turns up for a threesome.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you have sex in a horror movie, you get killed. I'm just like, oh my god, you're just showing me all the film horror tropes of a slasher movie.
Yeah, but compare that
So
to...
I'm worried.
Compare that to Neil Blomkamp's Alien movie, where the studio turn around and go, Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection doesn't exist. I sit there going, fuck you, I've got the special edition box set. I've got the films.
I don't. It's almost like a fan attempt, and I would love to see Neil Blomkamp's Alien because I can when I decide I'm going to watch the Alien films, I'll watch Prometheus, then I'll watch Alien Covenant, then I'll watch Alien, then I'll watch Aliens, and I'll be like, do I want to go Alien 3-4? or do you want to go Alien 5?
But
And you can, it's like a choose your own adventure. Turn to
Yeah,
DVD
but
3.
You shouldn't have to do that. I hate it when studios do that. They go, "Oh, these films don't exist." It's
No, but
like,
they're not.
they do.
Well, they don't exist for the purpose of this film. They still exist because 20th Century Fox are still monetizing our Alien review, so they know it still exists.
Yes, but then you get into the point of Neil Blomkamp bringing back Ripley and Hicks.
And yeah.
Bringing back Ripley and Hicks.
And Newt.
Now,
even.
are people
and Broken Bishop?
Yeah, are people going to see the film because they want to see aliens, or are they going to see the film because Ripley and Hicks are alive? And as you see from our comment sections, everybody goes on about how Alien 3 was so bad because they killed off the family. Good. That's a good thing. The alien universe is supposed to be a bleak, dark, depressing place to be where anybody and everybody could die at any point. If you turn around and say, "Oh, actually, they don't exist. They actually lived on to become a happy little family," I'm like, fuck you.
I hear you, Ian, and we agree to disagree. I
Yes.
love that. You know how much I love Alien 3. It's the most bleak and depressing movie. One of the most bleak and depressing horror movies ever. I just love it. I love its cinematography. I love its music. I love its direction. I love some of the characters.
Yes.
So good. And the Alien movie is why we get so excited talking about the Alien movies, because they are that damn good and they are worth talking about.
And that's what I'm talking about. If you love Alien 3 that much, it took me a few years to get over
Totally.
Alien 3 and get onto it.
Me too. That's how impactful it was.
Exactly, and now I really enjoy it. For them to turn around and say, "Oh, none of that existed. The characters are alive." It feels like to me that they're
It's a
just turning
what
around.
if. It's not. I mean, a lot of I don't know, because for fresh audiences, if they go into see Alien 5, it's probably not even going to be called Alien 5.
No, it'll
It'll be called Alien
Resurrection.
No, you can't do that. Alien Insurgents. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the other films are not going anywhere. People remember them. New audiences will come up to this film, and then they'll look back and then go, "It doesn't make any sense." But so long as it's a quality film,
I suppose along the same lines as Terminator Genesis.
yeah,
Like with what Terminator Genesis did, it just completely rewrote
the timeline.
the timeline. I think I would have.
But that has time travel in it.
Yeah, I think I would have enjoyed maybe that a bit more if they'd gone back and not brought Ripley and Hicks back and just done a story leading off from Aliens while Ripley and Hicks are going to Fury 161. We're now following these guys who are on the same timeline, but they're over here in this part of the universe.
Yeah.
Doing this.
See, I always thought that they would do a story where it's kind of like Dead Space 2.
Yeah.
Where you have a giant floating city in space, whatever.
Yeah.
And an alien gets on board, kind of like Alien Isolation.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's a space station that gets overrun with aliens. And the crew are trying to get to evacuation pods or waiting for rescue to arrive or, something like that. So it's a Marines action orientated with androids and just all the recognizable bits. But as much as I think that's a great idea, it's something that has proven to me to not be very successful with Star Wars: A Rogue One story. We'll get into that
Right.
a little
Okay.
bit later on,
Yeah.
but putting in everything that you remember from a franchise in a single film is not all the ingredients necessary to make a great film.
Yeah. Like I said,
as long as the story is there,
the focus has to be on the creature. You're going to see an alien film for the alien. It's the same reason why you go see like a King Kong movie. King Kong's coming out, the new Skull Island one.
Yeah.
You're not going to see King Kong because you want to see the love interest and the main action hero get together. You want to see a giant fucking ape.
I want to see T-Rex eat some food.
Yeah. So when somebody says, right, what do you think about the new Alien movie? I want to, and I'm kind of glad with the Alien Covenant trailer, they didn't show the alien till the end.
Yeah.
And they only, they showed the shower sequence, but they didn't show that much. You see them, you see the alien, you see the tail, you see the blood burst, you see the scream, and then the trailer ends. And so for me, I'm like, right, that looks like one person dead. We've already know they've got a crew of 8, so I want to see how the other 7 get killed. Money, I can probably put money on it that the alien will die towards the end. But if they end it well enough that nobody survives, even better, because it brings you back to that whole everybody is expendable in this franchise.
Yeah, because of the company policy.
Yes.
So yeah, excited for Alien, and Alien Covenant is coming out on May 19th.
Yes, May 19th.
Now there has been another massive massive trailer that came out just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even want to say it because when I say it, it makes it real.
Yeah.
Blade Runner 2049.
Yes!
Which has an expected release date of October 6th, 2017, which is right around my birthday. It's like,
Yes!
Great. How about we just either give you one of the best birthday presents ever, Gary, or a turd in a box.
You are fucking worried about this film, aren't you?
Oh, yes. Now, you know why?
Yeah, I know why.
Blade Runner is my favourite sci-fi movie. It's number 1.
Yeah.
And Deckard is a replicant.
I knew you were going to say that. No, he's fucking not.
Yes, he is.
No,
Ian.
he's not.
How can you say he's not?
Because they're bringing out a film where he's still alive 30 years later.
It's...
And I can also say that through researching on Blade Runner, yes, Ridley Scott wanted Deckard to be a replicant.
Yeah.
He directed. He wanted Deckard to be a replicant, and that's how he played the character. Harrison Ford's performance as Deckard is too human for me when I watch it. He's too human. He's too emotional in some situations. He's too weak in other situations.
Programmed that way.
Against a replicant. And so when I watch it, when I first watched the film, and I watched the film multiple times, and I've seen the director's cut and the dream sequences with the origami fucking unicorn and all that kind of stuff, it still says to me, Harrison Ford is human. And this trailer, this film coming out, just cemented that. But on top of that, we're not too sure. You and I have already discussed it.
Yeah.
That either Ryan Gosling's character is a replicant and he's having to hunt down Deckard, or Ryan Gosling's a human who is hunting down all the replicants, and he's come across Deckard, who is the longest running Blade Runner replicant out there. We don't know. All we saw from the trailer was dark and dingy streets of LA, like in the first one.
Yeah.
Him walking into a building and getting caught.
Yeah.
By Deckard,
yeah.
who's got a gun. You know, that's it. And that for me was a better trailer than Alien Covenant.
Yeah, because it was very suggestive. It gave you the hints of the Vangelis soundtrack.
Yeah.
It gave you that neon bleak, horrible futuristic look of LA. And Harrison Ford was returning. Now, this is, like I said, the trailer is enough to get you excited and also enough to just go, no! You fucking idiots!
Yeah,
you blew it up!
I know. Yeah. God damn you!
So I really don't know what to make of it yet. They've kept it very quiet as to keep spoilers away, and I'm going to want to keep spoiler free until I see the film for myself.
Oh, Wikipedia it for us.
And again, so that is another film that I'm going in midnight release. I have to find out after Blade Runner. I only just listened to the Blade Runner soundtrack a week before the trailer came out, and I was just mortified. I was just like, no, you've been talking about the idea of Blade Runner sequel for so long. It was best left as a one-piece movie because, like I said, it was my number one sci-fi movie. Adding this sequel, it might be awesome, and if it is, then it's all good.
Yeah, Aliens.
But if it's terrible, it is then a permanent stain on Blade Runner as a franchise forever.
Yeah.
You'll never be able to look back at Blade Runner 1 again knowing what's to come, because you're just like, it's all this, and it's just ends in this abysmal ending. And it just sours it.
You can do what the studio says, can't you? You can turn around and go, oh, that film doesn't exist. That film doesn't exist. I'm not doing it. But tell me, I mean, I don't see a lot of films that he's in. Ryan Gosling, is he good?
He was okay, and was it Drive?
He was in Drive, and I think was it Marsh Past the Cedar Falls, or there was another film where he was in. He was playing another dark,
God only,
brooding character. I have to admit, I haven't seen Drive, or
I enjoyed Drive.
The thing behind the pines, something behind the pines.
Yeah.
He was in that, and he was in that God's Own one. I haven't seen any of those, but people are always praising him. Yeah. Always saying that Ryan Gosling is absolutely brilliant.
I've even seen him in a few chick flicks. I can't remember the names of them. They're all interchangeable, but I was surprised by his performance. And so I think he can deliver. I think he can deliver the goods.
Yeah, that's
and
it.
I think Harrison Ford, so long as Harrison Ford is not phoning it in,
Yeah.
that he'll elevate Ryan Gosling's performance as well. And so it could be really good.
Yeah, it could be, but you're worried. I wouldn't be if it gets to the new film coming out and they turn around and go, Deckard's a replicant. I can go, brilliant. Finally, that answers the age-old question that people have argued about.
Answered. It shouldn't have been answered. It should have just been left.
No, it's because it's confusing. They finally answered that age-old question: if Deckard is or not. If he is, brilliant. If he's not, brilliant. Don't care. For me, the film Blade Runner doesn't survive solely on Deckard. It survives on everything else in the film. You know,
it's like the video game. That didn't have Harrison Ford or Deckard in it, but it told a very good story in the Blade Runner universe.
Yeah, the special effects, the cars, the city, Rutger Hauer, Daryl Hannah, the guy has the turtle question, the one with the 60, all of those things are interchangeable. Even the old Chinese man with the "I made your eyes," those things elevated Blade Runner more than just is he human or not?
Well, so long as it's got Edward James Olmos in it, then it's going to be good.
yeah.
Okay, and so bringing on to the next trailer, which Underworld.
Yes.
The new one is called Blood Wars, and it is out, I believe, now.
Yeah, I think it's January 16th.
I think it's out in some areas of the world, but it's generally out this January.
Yes.
And when Underworld first came out, I looked at it and went, meh.
Yeah.
Not interested. I was kind of heavily into Vampire the Masquerade, or Jihad, as it was called. And then I watched Underworld, and I was just like, okay, yeah, you got vampires and werewolves, but it just feels very light.
Light, yes.
It wasn't adult enough. This was very much made for, in my opinion, the 13-year-old boy market.
Yeah. Emos.
But then, Kate Beckinsale in PVC, and
she has that look.
The look I've kind of got now.
The look you imagine with the tissue paper in your hand.
And then Underworld 2, I was like, okay, more of the same. Bill Nighy was very good as the bad guy.
Yeah.
And then Underworld 3, I was like, okay, I enjoyed this one.
It went back in time. It told the story.
I really liked the actress who played the main part. I can't remember her name, but she was gorgeous.
It wasn't Kate Beckinsale, but she looked a lot like her.
It was one of her ancestors.
I thought
so.
Yeah.
And I really liked the castle setting, sort of under siege from a werewolf attack force.
Well, they used the werewolves as slaves, didn't they, to build it? And
so
then
you found out why the war between vampires and werewolves started. And I really enjoyed that one. Underworld 4, I also watched in the cinema. I can't remember what the subtitle for that one was. And I thought it was it brought Kate Beckinsale back, went back to the modern day. And I enjoyed that one. And now... I thought that was the end of the Underworld franchise. But
no, because the ending of the film, was her saying...
It's been so long, I was like, I don't mind if it ended there.
Yeah.
But it's back now with Blood Wars, and straight away from the trailer, I was like, wow, you've got Charles Dance from Game of Thrones.
Yes.
You've got, I've forgotten his name. You've got this other guy from Game of Thrones.
That dude.
And Kate Beckinsale's back, and they're wearing PVC, and there's more vampires and werewolves, and the special effects are better, and it's still more of Underworld.
Yeah.
So
it's...
Yeah, I call January the dumping grounds for shit movies, because if it wasn't good enough for Christmas release, you chuck it out in January and whatever.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, Underworld, the last one was released in January as well. And I think in the last one, Charles Dance was in it as well. He played the father of the vampire that was helping Kate Beckinsale. But the way the last one ended, I knew that there was going to be a new one. Like you said, it took so long for them to bring out this new one. But after watching the trailer, I was just like, it's Underworld.
Yeah.
If you've been following this franchise, you know what you're getting. Yeah. Kate Beckinsale in PVC, jumping around in slow-mo, shooting up bunches of vampires, fighting people with swords, and things like that. It's not amazing, but it's an established franchise, and I never thought it would be. I didn't watch the first one when it first came out. I caught it on DVD, and I was just like, that is fucking pants. The whole vampire werewolf bloodline and one dude who's a human, but now he's becoming... I was just like, that's fucking shit. Like you said, we were playing Vampire the Masquerade, and it was nothing like the fucking card game. The second one come out, oh my god, that one I thought was even worse. The only good point I thought at the end was the fight sequence between the giant vampire bat and the giant other vampire bat werewolf thing. You know, there was a big fight sequence at the end. Then the third one surprised me because it went back in time. And I liked the aesthetics, the gothic appeal, the slave werewolves, the vampire war, who was it? I think it was Michael Sheen. Michael Sheen played the lead werewolf. And his emotional response, because he was in love with the vampire girl, you know, and watching her die and then him made me feel attached to him, like, okay, the werewolves aren't bad dudes. They've been forced into us by the vampires. The vampires are the bad dudes. The fourth one comes out. I was very surprised because I couldn't remember at the end of the second one Kate Beckinsale being captured, because in the fourth one she wakes up in this lab and the world is free of vampires and werewolves, or being controlled by vampires and werewolves. I can't remember. But she has a kid. And I was like, oh, God, really? For fuck's sake, here we go. She's going to be chasing after a little girl. But by the fourth movie, I was so set of PVC, Kate Beckinsale leaping around, shooting shit, that the action scenes just kept it going. So this new one, I will Wikipedia. and I'll probably watch it on DVD when it comes out.
It's not one I'm going to rush to the cinema for, but it was a noteworthy trailer. I do want to watch that.
Yeah, I do want to watch it, but not excitingly really want to watch it. It'll just be...
Well, it brings us on to the final trailer that I brought up for discussion.
Yep.
And this is a film series that is on the review list and has been for some time until the film series has finished.
Yeah.
Then the series is up for review.
Yeah.
You know what it is, Ian?
Yeah.
It's Resident Evil,
Yeah.
the final chapter. But is it really?
Never name your film. Never name your film the final chapter, because it's not the fucking final chapter. You're gonna come back and do it unless everybody fucking dies.
Then you still might bring them.
Then you might bring them back. Oh my god, the Resident Evil franchise. I'm probably a man on my own here, but I've always enjoyed them. Because I'm a big Resident Evil fan, played practically all the games on every format. When the first film came out, I liked the nods, and then I realized by the second movie that's all we were getting. We were just getting nods to the games, which I think they completely missed out on. They should have stuck to the franchise of the game of Chris and Jill, but it was always difficult how they were going to adapt the story of the first game, because you do two different lines.
Yeah. Well, originally, George A. Romero was offered to write the script, to direct the film.
Yeah.
He was going to do the mansion in Raccoon City. He was going to have Jill and Chris and Alpha and Bravo team and Wesker and everything else. And then, it was Paul W.S. Anderson that came in with a cheaper script and went, hey, I'm going to do this. Yes. You don't need George.
No, I'll do this. And I suppose bringing Alice in was nice. I like Mila Jovovich, ever since I saw her nude in Fifth Element. I've always liked her.
I really enjoyed her in Joan of Arc.
Yeah, Joan of Arc. Yeah. Joan of Arc's pretty good. I in a weird way, Ultraviolet's kind of fun.
Was that her?
Yeah, that was her in Ultraviolet. She had the little kid in the suitcase.
Oh, right.
And I think it was...
I'm not remembering Neon Flux for some reason.
Aeon Flux with Charlie Theron. That's a bad film. That's a bad film. Anyway, but Resident Evil, it was just nods, and I liked the prosthetic suits that they did in some of the sequences. I mean, you look at Nemesis in Resident Evil 2. They ruined it with Resident Evil 3 by apocalypting the world, and then bringing back Resident Evil 4 where the world was kind of still all right, and then we're on a boat, and then Wesker's president of the president of the world. I was going to say universe there. He was president of the world, and now in this one they're returning to Raccoon City after it was destroyed, returning right back to the Hive for something. Probably an antivirus or something like that. It's not gonna be great, It's a lot of the other movies, big, like we said, big action pieces, crazy CGI effects, Mia Jokovic with her special powers going around kicking the shit out of stuff. I will put money on it that it will ultimately lead up to a big final battle between her and, oh no, William Birkin. or some fucking thing that's pretended to be a tyrant. The fucking tyrant! You ruined the fucking tyrant!
They ruined Nemesis.
Nemesis was all right because it looked like Nemesis. He had his minigun, he had his rocket launcher. Turning him human towards the end was a bit of a piss poor thing.
Yes, it was.
You know, but Tyrant was worse because he looked like a tyrant, but his hand turned into tentacles. And the tentacles went into people's minds and ate their brains and they were dead. And I'm like, oh my God, really? Where are the zombies? That's what Resident Evil was built on. It was the zombies. The other monsters came on later on. I don't even think they've ever had hunters, did they? In the movie franchise. No, you've had zombies. You've
Zombie
had dogs.
Lickers.
Yeah, you've had the last Pelagus in the other films where their heads open up. You've had the big guy with the axe, walking around. Like I said, nods.
Yeah. The movie just grabbed all different things that it wanted and then eventually did decide to drop in Leon and Ada and Barry and it just became comical. And that's the only reason why I continued watching the series, because I just found it it went past offensively bad back into, oh my God, I cannot believe you're marketing this. You want this film going out your back door.
Yeah.
And hoping no one notices that you just took a big shit on everyone's cinema screens.
Yeah. But at the same time, like I said, it's the same thing with Underworld.
Yeah.
I own the Resident Evil films on DVD. The wife loves them.
Yeah.
I
can understand I can understand the guilty pleasure aspect, the nature of it. It's a brain dead action film, girl power, monsters, special effects. It has its elements. It can work.
Yeah. And
as a real fan of the games, all I see with each film is missed opportunity.
Yeah. But we're past that. We are past the missed opportunity phase now, because we know that it's not missed opportunities anymore. They're just not doing it.
Yeah, they've just given up.
They've just given up. But I will give credence to Mila Jokovic. She does do strong female very well.
Well, she's only done Alice for the last 10 years. I've not seen her do anything else.
No, but like we said, with The Fifth Element, she was brilliant as Lilu. You know, strong female character there, beating the shit out of a room of weird aliens. Joan of Arc,
kicked the shit out of the British.
Kicked the shit out of the British in that, And so when you see Alice, I suppose it's only the first Resident Evil movie and the fourth or fifth one where she loses her powers, where she becomes weak.
Yeah.
In all the others, she is a fucking badass. She's going around kicking the crap out of people. I'd rather see her than a male do it.
Okay.
I don't think a male could carry the Resident Evil franchise like that.
Well, Leon became the poster boy for Resident Evil for quite a while, and then before it went back to Chris again.
Yeah. Well, but that was in the games, and the games are different because I suppose males want to play the games. We want to play Resident Evil, and the games. Going with the games started to falter after a while.
Well, yeah.
When they started to become more action orientated, and it was more about collecting money to upgrade your guns to kill more enemies, that's where I started to lose interest. I'm like, where are your puzzles? Where is the fear? Where is the survival horror aspect of Resident Evil? Where's that gone? Oh, well, you don't need it anymore because now you've got an infinite firing grenade launcher with acid rounds.
Well, you got to earn that.
Yeah, you've got to earn that. But once when you have a franchise like Resident Evil, the game, and they're missing opportunities, I'm not very surprised when the film misses opportunities.
Yeah. Okay, well, I didn't write this one down, but it has just occurred to me.
Right,
There's
okay.
one last trailer I just want to give a quick shout out to.
Yeah.
Kickboxer.
Oh, fuck.
Can you believe it? I saw the trailer for it
No,
and
I
I
can't
smiled from the midpoint to the end of the trailer. And it was only because
I'm going to rape you so bad.
Van Damme is back.
I fucking Yes.
He's playing the
Yes.
instructor.
What the? What? As I said at the start of this review, part of my French, but what the fuck? Seriously?
I love Van Damme movies. I still do.
Isn't it Batista playing
Yes.
Tung Po or
Yeah,
whatever? Batista with his hair up.
But I like him. He's a good actor as well, though. Guardians of the Galaxy.
He is. Batista, Dave Batista, as he's known in the acting quality. If you're a wrestling fan, obviously he's the animal Batista.
Yeah.
I've always liked him since he was in WWE, and I was very surprised he was successful when he became an actor. You can say the same thing for The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, but they got kind of films that weren't groundbreaking. You know, they had to earn the respect before they got big opportunities. You know, Dave Batista, he did a couple of little films, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's in Guardians of the Galaxy, and he's fucking brilliant in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Absolutely brilliant.
His Drax has me in stitches when he takes things so literal. When I saw the trailer for Kickboxer, I shook my head. I fucking shook my head because I'm just like, I know where this is going. I know.
Oh, yeah.
I know where this is going. And then you see Jean-Claude Van Damme there as the teacher, and I'm like, oh fuck me, he's gonna be Yoda.
Yeah.
He's gonna be Yoda now to the new guy.
I like it.
You know, and
it's how you do a remake or a reboot. It's where you pass the torch, and I love that Van Damme is there to do that.
Yes, but dude, we already talked about this in the Kickboxer reviews. Kickboxer 2, 3, 4 are really bad.
Didn't the Van Damme character die?
Yeah, in the beginning of number 2. So the reboot Kickboxer
Pretends 2, 3, 4, whatever didn't exist.
Just pretend 2, 3, and 4 doesn't exist. But at the same time, don't make any more after Kickboxer 1.
So you watch Kickboxer and then you watch Kickboxer.
Yeah, literally, because it'll work. Because you watch Kickboxer, him win at the end, and his little Chinese, Asian, Thailand teacher. Then you flick 20 years later, and obviously the teacher's passed away, and you've got Jean-Claude Van Damme there, like, I will teach you kickboxing. Doing snow angels in the ground and drinking a cold ass beer while the guy gets his legs stretched into his scrot rips. But are you excited about that film?
Yes, I can't help myself. You just... Alright, thanks for listening everyone. We're going to take a very quick break and we'll be back momentarily with our look back at the best movies and games of 2016. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Off the Shelf Reviews podcast, and welcome to part 2.
Hello!
And now we're going to discuss some of the best games and films of 2016. And it should just be said right off the bat that it's impossible to play and watch everything in a year.
Yeah.
And, so you try and pick and choose what you think you're going to enjoy.
Yeah.
Unless we're watching it for a review, in which case we've already talked about it.
Yes.
So we're going to start with the best games, or I felt were some of the best games of 2016.
Yeah.
And I didn't play all of them. So the ones that I've not played, I'm just going to list right now as not being played, but still worthy of being mentioned as one of the best of the year.
Yeah.
So The Last Guardian. May have been buggy. PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah.
Took a long time to get made.
Yeah.
A lot of people very happy with it, enjoy the quirks of the AI.
Yeah.
And other people were very disappointed with it, feels very dated, but still a fantastic accomplishment. Final Fantasy 15.
Oh,
Again, it's on my to-play list.
Yes,
I will be.
Mine as
I
well.
will be playing it this year. It is, a bromance road trip.
I got to admit, I looked at Final Fantasy 15. I had the money. I was going to buy it, but I got scared. And the reason why I got scared is because I know Final Fantasy games are so big.
I heard that this one is not as long as the others. It's
Well,
about 40 to 80 hours for completion with a lot of the side quests done.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. It's the RPG elements, isn't it? It's the leveling this up, the leveling that up. It's the going and getting the best weapons, the best armor. You could go straight from A to B and complete the game really, really simple. Or you can go and do all that extra side quest stuff. And that's what always scares me about RPG games is how much time am I going to spend doing that side quest stuff.
Yeah. Overwatch, Blizzard, first-person shooter, sort of battle royale.
I've been watching my stepson play Overwatch. Wow, my God! If you got a good PC, that game runs phenomenally.
Or a console, yeah.
Or a console. You know, well, I'd say it's primarily it's better played on a PC. It's rare I say that because I'm a gamer that covers all consoles, all platforms. PCs, I don't like the PC master race idea, but watching Overwatch run on a PC, you know, it's beautiful. The different types of characters, the maps and the game types, I think, are a bit of a letdown because it's samey to multiplayer games. You know, capture the flag, hold the base, protect the object, those kind of things. You know,
right?
They're the same things that keep going.
Yeah, it's a game that I've not played. It was a game that Jez, my housemate, works in game. He was like, it's the midnight release for Blizzard's Overwatch. Do you want it? And I was just like, nah. No, I'm really not interested in that game type.
Is it because it's Blizzard as well?
No, I'm not. I have no offense against Blizzard. Blizzard make their games are incredibly successful, whether I like them or not.
Yeah.
But it goes without saying that Blizzard release quality products.
World of Warcraft movie.
Well, again, you know, it's a movie. It's not. It is their property, but it's not a game. So their track record for games is still pretty solid. And their support for Overwatch has continued to shine.
Yeah.
Battlefield 1. I tuned off. I played Battlefield 1943. I played Battlefield 1, 2, and 3. I played Battlefield Bad Company and Bad Company 2.
Yeah.
I played Battlefield when it launched on the Xbox One, and going from 3 to Battlefield 4, I played 3 the most out of all the Battlefields. I enjoyed Bad Company a lot.
Yeah.
Enjoyed Battlefield 3 the most. I had a lot more people to play it with online.
Yeah.
We got a much greater sense of a community playing that game, especially hosting our own maps on our favorite maps with extended kill counts so that the maps would last longer.
Yeah.
Just meant I enjoyed it a lot more. Battlefield 1, I liked the idea of it, but I burnt out on Battlefield just as much as I burnt out on Call of Duty. So Battlefield 1 does get a mention on my list because of its use of weapons and locations and map changes and the scale of the warfare.
Yeah.
It's still fantastic. So even though I'm not playing it, I've no intention of playing it, it's worth looking at as one of the best of the year.
If you're mad into war games, Battlefield 1, especially in this World War One setting, I think is absolutely unique. We've had Vietnam, we've had World War Two.
There's still no real trench warfare in Battlefield 1 the game.
It's still just a mad rush. Like I said with Overwatch as well, it's still a mad rush for a team deathmatch to get the points. You know, it's a multiplayer game that doesn't take a lot. It takes a lot of skill to be really good with weapons, but once you're proficient with that gun, you just change to the next gun and the next gun and the next gun. You're still proficient. You just need to get proficient in the next weapon. And I'm like, well, there's no dynamic for character development. You know,
it's a multiplayer game. You know?
Yeah, well, that's my point.
It does have a single player campaign.
If you want to play big multiplayer games, you get Battlefield 1, Call of Duty 3, is it, or Overwatch,
or Infinity.
Yeah.
Uncharted 4.
Uncharted, I was very surprised it's done so successful.
Well, they were always very popular games, both critically.
That's what I mean. When Uncharted 1 came out, I'm like, is this going to do very well? And then Uncharted 2.
The male version of Tomb Raider.
That's it. That's the male version of Tomb Raider. Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3. And then this new one, just from the trailers alone, wow, cinematically breathtaking, you know. You're there. You are Nathan Drake. You know, and it, like you said, male version of Lara Croft, and I think that's what's supported the new Tomb Raiders coming out.
Was the success of Uncharted?
Yes.
People were still enjoying these types of games as long as the story was there.
Yes.
The character was relatable.
Yes.
I believe Uncharted 4 is the last Nathan Drake game.
Yeah.
But I believe Uncharted is going to continue. Whether it should or shouldn't is debatable, but some characters were introduced in Uncharted 4 which has gotten a lot of following, and it looks like their adventure might continue with Nathan Drake maybe making a cameo here and there.
Do you think they'll cross lines with Lara Croft at some point in the future?
I don't think so.
Nah.
No.
Would be cool.
So, Dead Rising 4.
Oh, yeah.
Now, some people were surprised that it didn't turn up in a Gaming Friday video, and because we said in Dead Rising 3, I've loved the series, loved Dead Rising 1, so difficult, so frustrating.
Yes.
Dead Rising 2, more of the same, a little less frustrating. Then Dead Rising 3, it's quite polished. Really enjoyed that one. Worked very well as a selling point for the Xbox One.
Yes.
It helped me buy the console. Dead Rising 4, on the other hand, I have chosen to boycott it.
Really?
And not purchase it.
Why?
Because I am not happy with Capcom and the choices that they've made regarding Dead Rising 4.
Right.
Primarily being that Frank, the main character from Dead Rising 1 and whatever version of Dead Rising 2 you play, is changed. They've made him slimmer, they've made him younger, and they've replaced the voice actor. So the Frank that I'm looking at is the Frank that someone with a survey chart has gone, this is the most desirable protagonist for a game. This is your character.
See,
it's like, no.
I wondered why. Well, when I saw the trailers for Dead Rising 4, I kind of felt the same thing. I'm not bothered by this game. And I looked at it. In my mind, I'm like, it's Frank. But then again, I'm like, it doesn't feel like Frank. There's something missing from the Frank that I played in Dead Rising 1 that I got really attached to. I was hoping he was going to come back for Dead Rising 2. He didn't.
Well, he did in a director's version of it.
He did, but you started off playing with Chuck. And that's why I didn't play Dead Rising 2. For a very long time. I only picked it up because I had nothing else to play. Dead Rising 3, haven't played, not interested in playing because it's more of the same thing. And Dead Rising 4, I never understood the story for Dead Rising. I can't see how they've extended it to 4 fucking games.
Yeah.
And 2 really shitty films.
Well, 1 average film in 1 very shitty film.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my lineup for men, because Dead Rising 4, the people that are playing it and are forgiving of the changes that they've made have said this is a solid game. You can play it co-op online, which is awesome. When you're playing single player, they've removed all of the timers.
Right.
So that you're not in a mad rush against the clock to go and rescue everybody.
That's a good thing.
So it is and it isn't. Again, it's another one of those things where I'm like, that's a staple of Dead Rising.
Yeah, but
that is the urgency. That is the difficulty.
There's the thing that annoyed me about the other games is that the staple was good for the story, but when I completed the story, I wanted the timer taken away, so I had the free roaming chance.
That should be an option, yeah. Once you've completed the game on your, New Game Plus, or got the ultimate ending, or got everything else, it should then give you the option of playing a new game and have an infinite timer.
But it doesn't.
No. But they've decided the next game, infinite timer.
Good.
Although I believe when you do play online co-op, there are timers involved again.
Right, yeah.
For the co-op play.
Yeah.
So, Dead Rising 4 has had positive reviews, but it would have been better, and it would have been a sold game for me if they had not upset me, which they did. So, best games for me of 2016... I'm putting it in there now, Ian.
Yeah.
Is Dishonored 2.
Yes.
Now, again, as I said in the review recently, I have not played it. I probably won't play it.
Yes.
But I know that it's a good game.
Oh,
I've seen that it's a good game. So, Ian, tell us again.
It is.
Is this your game of the year?
No.
Okay.
It's my second game of the year. I bought 2 games last year. One towards the end of the year was Dishonored 2. The other one came out in April and was the fucking amazing Doom. But we'll get to Doom in a minute. Dishonored 2, it was the follow-on to the unexpected brilliance of Dishonored 1 for me. I don't know anybody, like I said in the review that we did, I don't know anybody else who actually played through the game and completed it like I did. And so Dishonored 2, I had to see how the story developed. I wanted to see how the powers developed and the new characters, the better locations, things like that. It's so open, and you need patience to play it because you need to wait in a particular spot for a particular thing to happen so that you don't get spotted and carry on. This is why I'm not playing Battlefield 1 or Call of Duty, because I don't want to spend every hour of my day running around frantically trying to get every kill or top of the board or this, that, and the next thing.
It can be very stressful.
It can be. And so sitting there in a room, hiding under a table, waiting for the target to turn around so you can grab him from behind and not kill him is is brilliant because too many games nowadays you have to kill everything. Dishonored, I suppose, is probably one of the first games where it says complete this without killing or spotting anybody, being spotted or killing anybody, and you're like, how the fuck do I do it? You can do it. But it takes time, it takes patience, it takes working it out. At the same time, I realized this through playing Dishonored 2 that I've recently completed the story mode. There's an achievement to go back and play as Emily.
Right.
But I've realized in my New Game Plus, I don't have to do that.
Right.
I can just keep getting, if I want to get all the achievements, I can get 99 of them by playing as Corvo in my New Game Plus and doing all that, and then just do one playthrough as Emily and I'm done.
Nice. Yeah.
You know, I think they made a mistake of giving you the extra powers for, like, I'm playing as Corvo, I've got Emily's powers as well. No, I don't want that. I want Emily to have her own powers. I want a reason to go and play as her, not just because, you know, it's one achievement, really.
Yeah, so you're not playing it for achievements, but you're still just playing it.
I'm still just playing it.
Nice.
A couple of days ago, I was sat on a ledge watching some guard walking around, and for at least 5 to 10 minutes, I contemplated if I should kill him or not, and how I was going to take him out. You know, that's 10 minutes in real time. This guard's walking around unknowing, like do. It takes me back to Metal Gear. It takes me back. Right. It takes me back to Thief. You know, it's just, you are that hunter. You're the hunter. And you use your brain. I inadvertently just dropped down and stabbed him in the neck and threw his body into some fire to get rid of it. But, you know, that's because I wanted to. You know?
Speaking of destroying things and tearing flesh apart.
Yep.
You said it, Ian.
Yep. Oh, God. Doom was amazing. Doom was game of the year. And people have stopped playing Doom because of Gears of War 4, Call of Duty, Battlefield, and Overwatch. And I think without Doom, you would have had a harder time for people to go and play multiplayer, online multiplayer shooters. Doom came along and was just breathtaking. The story was amazing. The graphics when you're getting up close with the monsters was amazing. The multiplayer, I was very surprised I played the multiplayer. I didn't think I was going to because, like I said before, multiplayer games are hard for me to get into with lots of gunfire and stressfulness and stuff like that. Doom made it fun. I had fun being killed by people. I'd leap round a corner after killing 2 or 3 people, and a guy just shot me in the face with a BFG. I'm like, where the fuck did you get a BFG from? How the hell did you know I was there? How did I not kill you when that explosion went off? So many things in my mind. I recently got my 1.50 kill death ratio, which for me is an achievement in the time that I have online. And seeing yourself in the first ranking, they've done this thing where they've given you the your directional pad can allow you to do little maneuvers. Well, I've got the suck it maneuver, the crotch chop, the nice. Old DX hello salute, and every time I get to the top mode, there I am telling the other players to suck it. You know, I get 2 in before the camera comes it fades again, out, yeah. And we're back in the lobby, and the lobby system's so fast.
Yeah,
you know,
back into another game.
Back into another game. You know, it's just off.
I admit, I spent a good portion of time playing the Doom's multiplayer. I played solo on my own for a few games. I played a majority of my games with you online.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed the time playing it. I did find I stopped playing towards the point of the first DLC's release.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt like I'd got everything I was going to get out of the Doom's multiplayer.
Yeah.
I felt it was a little bit limited and it wasn't enough there to keep me coming back. I without a doubt though, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I also fully enjoyed the Doom single-player campaign.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed it to the point where I 1,000-pointed Platinum Trophy Achievement Doom. I played it through on its next to impossible difficulty setting. I did attempt its impossible difficulty setting, which is start to finish 1 life only.
I did the 1 level achievement on that, and that was it.
I did the first level, and I got part way through the second level, and then I died horribly. And it happens, but it was fun. I enjoyed that challenge, and I
Yeah.
know that there are people out there that have done the whole fucking game
Oh yeah.
without dying on its hardest difficulty setting. And to you guys, what the hell?
Yeah, kudos, man. Kudos.
Jeez, I'm coming to you when the apocalypse occurs. 'Cause damn. But that was not it. Doom's snap map feature.
Oh, yeah.
I must admit, I spent just as much time as playing the single player through and the multiplayer as I did in Snap Map. I made about 5 maps
Yes.
that
Yeah.
had secrets and doors and spawning weapons and monsters and music and text and items and secrets, and there was I had so much fun building maps. I tried to make ones that were horror,
Yeah.
atmospheric, so
Yeah.
that there was chain events of explosions and pipes bursting, and I had ones where it was all guns galore and action and monsters, and I was just like, I'm making a game. I'm making episodic levels
Yes.
in this map editor, and they've continued to add more features to the map
Yeah.
editor. And from the looks of it, this map editor really is almost teaching you the basics of scripting video games.
Yes. Yes.
And it's very complicated to begin with because you don't know what everything does, and you don't know how to hook up all the little nodules and nodes to trigger all these chain events. But once you've mastered it, then when you play the game through again, your brain is seeing the matrix code of
Yes.
how games are made and how things are triggered. And the snap map feature is awesome because not only can you make single player maps, you can even make MOBAs like Overwatch, where you have teams on each side with interchangeable weapons and characters and abilities. You can do whatever the fuck you want within limit.
Yeah.
Because there is still a limit to it. But there are programmers and makers out there that within the confines of that snap map are doing great things. I haven't been back to Doom for a long time, and when I think of Doom though, I think of the snap map editor first, and that is where I want to go next. I want to go back into there and make another map.
Yeah.
It might take another 30 hours to make that one map that somebody will play through for 10 minutes and move on. But I enjoyed the time making Doom. And so for me, Doom is a number one contender right now. During the course of this section of the podcast, I'm going to decide what my number one game of the year is.
Okay.
Doom right now is number 1. It might get knocked to number 2.
Mine number 1, Doom. Second, Dishonored 2.
Okay, so I'm going to mention a runner-up for sure.
Yeah.
Titanfall 2.
Titanfall 2. This is where I think the multiplayer for Doom may look clunky to some other people. Is Titanfall and Titanfall 2, their multiplayers are so fast and so smooth. It's difficult to argue. You know, you scale walls, you're running, jumping, pop, 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 headshot, calling Titan, jumping your Titan, blam, 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 missiles, just destroy a couple of other Titans, eject out, and all of a sudden you're running again and you're building up. It's so amazing that this is another reason why I think Call of Duty went one way and Battlefield went another way. They were like, okay, we need to change up because this one's going to kick our ass.
Well, Titanfall was successful enough that it appeared that, Infinity Ward, where they came from, Call of Duty went and emulated and borrowed elements of Titanfall pretty poorly, I have heard. They added in wall running into levels where they'd not programmed properly wall running. And so it's kind of a bit lackluster. So, but Titanfall expertly crafts it. The campaign, it has all the elements that you want for the wall running. The campaign is good. It's not awesome. It's good.
Not as good as Doom's?
The Doom campaign is phenomenal. Doom trumps Titanfall for its campaign.
Yeah.
Doom trumps Titanfall 2 for its snap map.
Yeah.
Titanfall 2 trumps Doom for its multiplayer.
Yeah, arguably.
Because Titanfall 2 is built for multiplayer.
Yes,
It's coming
yes,
off Titanfall
yes,
1. It
yes.
was that in mind.
Yes.
And it's perfect. I love Titanfall 2's multiplayer. Its single player campaign was a very good extended tutorial for your multiplayer activity.
Well, that's it. Well, I mean, that was the argument for Titanfall 1, is that there was no single player, and people were like, we want a single player.
We want more of this universe.
But in my mind, I was just like, if they make a single player, it is just going to be action blockbuster Call of Duty style. I like the fact that Titanfall was just multiplayer. Bringing out the second game, you've just got an added bonus. If you don't want to play online or you can't play online, you've got the single player. You can still do all the stuff. You know, then when you get onto multiplayer, you're ready.
Definitely. Okay, so this next one, it's probably bottom on my list of them, but it absolutely deserves to be on the list because of the cross-play gaming that it brought forward.
Okay.
Gears of War 4.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
I said in the review I was very disappointed with the script.
Right.
I don't mind the direction that it's going in. Obviously, you can't have a Gears of War game without its enemy.
Yeah.
And at first, when they said they were going to do Gears, I was like, well, is it Gears fighting militia again?
Yeah.
Is it another Civil War type thing? But no. Spoilers, it's the Locusts, they're back.
Yeah.
And so
They're just called something else.
they're just called the Swarm. But they look like the Locusts. Well, they are the Locusts. They're the dead Locusts. After hibernation type thing.
Yeah.
Metamorphosis. Butterfly, you
Yeah.
remember. So Gears of War 4, even though it has a lackluster story, the voice acting is okay. Again, it goes down to the writing. Gameplay is solid. It's, the formula of Gears is worked.
Yeah.
Knee-high cover, sort of running into cover, shooting over cover and hiding again. Co-op play, horde mode, vast array of multiplayer maps and character skins. It's a really solid game, and it's had cross-play.
Yeah.
So I can play with PC players. So some people that might have jumped off of the Xbox bandwagon and gone PC only, I'm playing with them again after all these years. That's great that it's brought players back together.
Yeah, Gears of War, for me, Gears of War 2 was the best. I played Gears of War 2 with a friend of mine. We cracked out the story on Insane. We kicked ass on Wingman. And then Gears of War 3 came out, and I had so many issues with that game. Not only I played Gears of War 3, completed on Insane. I went back and did Gears 1 on Insane, and then I was like, I'm done. And people are like, oh, but Gears of War, Judgment's coming out. You're playing as Baird now, and it's all set for Gears. I'm like, I don't care. I really don't care, because it just feels like there are too many plot holes. Like, why the fuck does the Locust Queen look human? Are they explaining that now in Gears of War 4? Possibly. Maybe this is why Gears of War 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 are all planned in development. But the story mode is one thing, and it's kind of lackluster, like you said. The multiplayer is good. It's fun, but it's really only there, like Titanfall and Call of Duty and Battlefield and Overwatch. It's only there if that's all you want to do.
Yeah.
Because you need to keep your skill up. On not only all multiplayer games, but especially things like Gears of War, because you need to know where the grenades are going to spawn, need to know where the enemy's frontal attack is going to be coming from. But then so many issues with the internet of, oh, how did he shotgun me in the head when I shot him first? And, oh, that fucker's
host advantage.
Chainsaws and lag.
Yeah. That's part of the parcel for every multiplayer game, but you hear it quite a lot on Gears.
Not Doom. Not Doom.
Oh, okay. Now, this next game for me would have been Game of the Year.
Yeah.
But it's not. Because it crashed a shit ton. XCOM 2. I love XCOM.
Yes.
I loved XCOM 2. I loved it so much that I played it through and completed it, and started it through on Commander difficulty and played it through and completed it, and then started it through on Iron Man Commander and played it through and completed it, and then I started it on Impossible mode. And I got all the way to the end, and it crashed.
Yes.
That was 60 to 90 hours from beginning to finish on the hardest difficulty setting, and it crashed. Now you're like, well, Gary, why don't you save it? I'm like, well, of course I saved it. I have saves. So I load my save back up, and it crashes.
You're right on the
so
loading
I load
screen.
my save back up, and it loads the game up, and I return back to the base, and it crashes, and it crashes, and it crashes, and I send a help desk letter to 2K.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that's very sad. Can you give us more details? Maybe show us a video.
Yeah.
So I recorded the footage of the crash, and I sent it to them, and they were like, delete the game off your Xbox. Delete the DLC off your Xbox. Delete your gamer tag off your Xbox. Delete something else off of your Xbox. Put your gamer tag back on your Xbox. Reinstall XCOM. Reinstall the DLC.
Yeah.
Go into the Blu-ray disc drive player. Erase any memory that it's storing so that, when you put a disc in, it remembers what part of the film you're at.
Yeah.
Erase everything. Then start the game up, and I did all of that. And I got my profile back, and I got my save game.
Yeah.
And it fucking crashed, Ian. It crashed. And I sent them another note saying that it's still crashing, and they were like,
we can't help you.
Well, they actually offered me something else to try, and I was just like, I could do that, but I'll try this. And I had a friend come down who loaded in on their profile.
Yeah.
Still crashed. They put my gamer tag on their Xbox, played with a different XCOM disc, and it still fucking crashed. So, do you know what I did?
What?
I started all over again and played through the whole game again on its maximum difficulty and finally completed it. But it still crashed about 15 fucking times getting to that point. And it's so frustrating. It made me so angry. Because I loved XCOM 2.
I have not done XCOM 2 yet because I enjoyed the first one so much. I didn't want to ruin my playthrough of that game. And this was... I know
because it's story related, because you won.
yeah, but it was also the fact of... I remember XCOM being so fucking hard, I got frustrated and stopped having fun with it. It was a case of, I'm now just completing it to just complete it. And so that was the same thing for XCOM 2, that I half contemplated buying the game and just putting it on easy. And, I mean, Jeff was always going on about the Long War. You know, and I never found out if this was true or not. You can tell me now. The Long War is just an extended story mode, is it? Yeah,
it doesn't add in any extra cutscenes or anything. It just means you're going to have 2 to 3 times the amount of missions you have to do before you get to the end. It extends all of the research time, the amount of time your soldiers are injured.
So for me, that would be good. My plan was to stick it on easy, play the Long War, and just enjoy being an XCOM soldier. I had no interest in trying to play the game on insane Iron Man mode because the enemy would fucking take the piss. They would shoot.
You've got a 90% shot chance accuracy and miss.
And miss right in his face. He shoots you through a wall and takes you out without even harming the wall. You know, so your mission has now gone for pot, and it's even worse when you're trying to get like that one achievement. You know, complete one insane Iron Man mission with one dude. And yet the computer's just like, fuck you. You know, I see you all the way over there. I'm going to lob a grenade all the way over to you and kill you in one hit. And it makes you want to smash your joypad.
Totally.
It's so many times when I played XCOM 1, I wanted to destroy my joypad, but I persevered. And so, like I said, I want to play XCOM 2.
XCOM 2 is much more refined than XCOM 1. Yes, it still has the random hit chances.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll put your entire squad on Overwatch. A single monster will move out and every single soldier will miss.
Fucking...
It happens, you know, but it's...
It shouldn't happen if you've got badass elite soldiers.
This is true. This is very true. But there are options in the second game where you can add sort of... customize your weapons so that you can put on stocks, so that missed shots do damage. There's a chance that you might get additional Overwatch shots. So there's a lot of contingencies you can have. There's a lot more variety in XCOM 2. XCOM 2 has a much better story. I really enjoyed the DLC for XCOM 2. Shen's last mission, plus the Alien Hunters missions added some nice customization. If I recommend XCOM 2, I played it on the Xbox One, but I thoroughly recommend... If you do not have access to a PC, then get a console version. But if you have access to a PC, get it on the PC because there is a lot more customization.
Yeah.
There's a lot more mods for the game that's going to make it, you know, just add even more replayability to it.
Yeah.
So XCOM 2 would have been Game of the Year for me if it didn't have so many bugs and problems. And so I never did get back to 2K and tell them how much that upset me. Their fixes did not work. So, that brings me to my top 2 games of the year.
Okay, top 2.
Doom.
Yes.
As we've said.
Yes.
And Dark Souls 3.
Oh, baby.
It's really difficult for me to decide between the two. But I'm going to say Dark Souls 3 Game of the Year for me.
You are a Dark Souls
player.
I was going to say slut. But you're a player. You love that RPG aspect.
I didn't play Demon Souls and I didn't play Bloodborne. I'm kind of...
Well, you don't need to.
I'm very much stuck in just the Dark Souls 3 games.
Yes, I remember when I first saw you playing Dark Souls 1 and I was just like, why the fuck are you playing this game? This game is stupidly, ridiculously hard. But then something happened where I was just like, I want to do that, you know. I want to play a stupidly over the top, you are going to die every turn of the corner type of game, because I'm not getting that from any of the other games I'm playing. And so I went and played Dark Souls 1, and you were going on to Dark Souls 2 at this point. So then I got onto Dark Souls 2, and then we saw that Dark Souls 3 was coming out, we saw that Bloodborne was coming out, and people jumped up. It surprised me when Bloodborne came out. People were like, oh, we're going to play Bloodborne. And I'm like, bitch, please.
You don't know what you're getting into.
You don't know what you're getting into. Oh, I can't believe Bloodborne's so hard. It's like, what the fuck? Did you look into it? It's from the creators of Demon Souls. I never played Demon Souls, but we've all heard the stories.
I've sat with people. I've backseat gamed through Demon Souls.
Yeah.
I've never played it myself. But it encouraged me enough to go to Dark Souls.
Yes, and it did. There was so much development of your character, the difference, the stuff you could make to make yourself into a badass barbarian, or a quick rogue, or a sorcerer with mystical powers. What even surprised me even more was the fact that Dark Souls has a fucking multiplayer PvP arena. How?
It was only yesterday that I was playing Dark Souls 3. I played it through. I'm on New Game +++.
Yeah,
and I've finished all the bosses but the final boss, so I can still run around the area.
Yeah.
And I played it through once and completed it solo.
Mm-hmm.
I played it through multiple times with another character with co-op
all
the way through. Loved it. I'm now playing it through co-op again, helping a new player to the Souls series, starting with Souls 3, go through the game. And obviously, when you get to nearly level 200 as a character, you stop getting invaded. You find PvP gone.
Yeah.
You've gone past the level cap.
Yeah.
But helping a new player through, kind of find that they get invaded quite a lot, an awful lot, and so it just meant that the PvP is back for me.
Yes.
And I just love Dark Souls PvP. I'm not good at it.
Yeah, no, neither am I.
But I love it. I love it when you get spectators, when you get people that come in and go, oh, these two are going to fight.
Yeah.
Everyone steps back, sits down, and lets them fight.
The bowing, the saluting.
The etiquette.
Yes.
We call it honourable fights.
Yes.
Because sometimes you'll get someone that will invade and hide somewhere. They'll try and use the environment against you, use the enemies against you. You'll get someone that'll come in, stand out in the open, bowing before you, and then you fight.
And there's even a thing. My stepson was playing Dark Souls 3 online, and he played the PvP a lot. He just went to the PvP arena, and he was telling me that there's a law to not Estus Flask.
Yes,
you know,
that's deemed unhonourable.
Yes, if you Estus Flask, the other person can Estus Flask now, and that's just going to drag the fight out. But you want, from the start, you don't Estus Flask.
That's correct.
Because it's just down to fighting.
I understand that some people might not know. You might be first onto Dark Souls 3 and not understand the etiquette of PvP.
Oh, you're going to get raped.
Now, just yesterday, I was having an honourable fight with somebody.
Yes.
And then somebody else invaded and attacked me. Now, this just goes to show the person I was fighting saw what had happened.
Yeah.
Took a step back from the fight.
Yeah.
Locked onto this invader because it happened to be that he was another Covenant.
Yeah.
And the two of us that were fighting killed the invader. We went back to where we were. We both healed up to full and carried on the fight again.
Nice.
And that is what I'm talking about, because all of that happened without anybody saying a word to each other.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's what I love, is that you can't communicate. You communicate through body language and by what's right.
Yes.
And what feels right in the Dark Souls world.
Yes.
And that's why Dark Souls 3 is Game of the Year, because it does some of those things so well. I understand a lot of people hate multiplayer in Dark Souls because they're trying to progress through the game, and some dickhead just keeps coming in and ganking them.
Yes, but if you've been playing the games since Demon Souls or Dark Souls 1 specifically, you are expecting around, like I said, the game says, you know, get ready to die. You're going to die. That's what happens in Dark Souls. You killed every single enemy. You're making your way towards the boss. You have just been invaded, and you're like, fuck. But then
I can't help but laugh.
But then down to you as the player playing Dark Souls. Like you said, there are so many different things you can do. You can change yourself into an object and hide out in the map. You can summon a friend in. You can move into a certain location, which means that they're gonna get into trouble before they get to you. You can call on the enemies to fight them.
You can run into the boss battle and then they have to go home.
Yeah, I remember in Dark Souls 2, there was an area where you could stand on a bridge and you could see the enemy. When they came in, they had to come in a certain way, and so you knew that they were going to go through all these different traps just to get to you, and then you could gank them.
Yeah.
You know, and that's yes. For me, if I wasn't playing Doom so much, you know, Dark Souls 3 could be up there for me because I never thought I'd be playing it.
Yeah. Well, testament to Dark Souls 3. I just platinumed Dark Souls 3.
Nice.
Totally loved it. And then Dark Souls 2, the sin of
Sin of the First Scholar.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
I've just purchased it for very cheap on Xbox, and I'm playing it all over again. I just can't help myself. More souls.
Yeah, but once you know, that's the cool thing about Dark Souls, is that once you know where everything is, nothing really changes. You know, I remember I could run through Sven's Fortress now with my eyes closed, probably.
You know, the timings of the blade swings.
That's it. You know, I know how to take out the big king in Dark Souls 2. You've got to get the giant souls to bring his defense down and then fight him as a boss. With Dark Souls 3, I'm excited and anxious because I don't know
what's around that corner.
But then once I do and I've completed it, I get to go back and those enemies are still going to be there, but I'm going to be twice as hard this time. They're going to be just as hard, but I can roll around you and stab you in the back. So
you know the enemy movements, attack
Yes.
patterns, spawn locations. And
Yes.
Exactly. It's a game that the highest bit of praise I can give the game
Yes.
is that no other game has ever given me a complete sense of accomplishment
Yes.
after the progress that you had made through the game. Every level you clear, every boss that you kill, every time you level up, you feel like you've done that.
Do you ever feel, maybe just me, but do you ever just, when you get to the next bonfire, you just let out a long...
Absolutely. As soon as you see the bonfire, you're just like, oh God, yes.
Thanks, oh my God.
Although I have to say, Dark Souls 2 is still for me the easiest of the three games.
Yeah.
3 has, you know, a lot more bonfires. I think it has the most bonfires out of any of the games.
Yeah.
And it allows you to obviously fast travel almost immediately. Whereas in the very first game, there was a lot of traversing the map before you learn the shortcuts. And
in the first one, you did not fast travel until right towards the end of the game. But
Right.
by that time, you already knew all the back alleys and all the hidden doors to go back and just get to the other areas. It was the first one for me is still pinnacly the hardest one.
yes, without
Before
a
I
doubt.
played number 3 yet.
Yeah. Well, that concludes the best games and films. Best games
Yes,
of 2016.
yes. Yeah.
Now I'm going to get into best films. Now, this list is fairly short because I've personally found 2016 to be a slightly lackluster year in film for me. I don't know. I had the conversation the other day and I was like, am I just becoming really skeptical? Not skeptical. Critical of everything for no reason. Am I burning out?
No, you're probably like me.
Or are the films just getting shit?
Back in the day when we were younger, we were so excited. Every time a new film came out, we would rush to the cinema to go see it. Nowadays, with the price of cinema tickets, you know, and sometimes how bad a film could be before we go and see it, you're just nervous. So you decide. You take a little longer to decide if you should go and see that film in the cinema, if you really want to, because it's going to cost a fucking arm and a leg to do it.
Exactly, yes. And I must admit, I've seen almost every superhero movie. I take that back. I've seen every superhero movie that came out this year in the cinema.
Yeah.
And, you know, the ones that I remember the most is Civil War.
Yeah.
And I saw that, was it early in the year?
Yes, yeah. I believe that was around about the same time I did the 24-hour Twitch stream. It was Easter
It
time.
was, yep. And I came out of that and I was like, okay, it was good. It didn't really feel like a civil war, more like, you know, a dispute.
Yeah.
It lacked the epicness and scale of the comic book which it was adapted from.
Yes.
So it didn't have the Fantastic Four involved. What it managed to do was get Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, it basically it extended the story we've been following
of Captain America.
And Bucky. But
yeah.
what I mean is the story going all the way back to Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
You know, Iron Man 1, 2, 3, Captain America 1, 2, fucking the Avengers movies, you know.
Yeah.
And then you get the Civil War, and it all kind of comes together in one big movie. So you're like, oh, they're mentioning that, and they're mentioning that, and they're nodding to that, and they're nodding to that. I felt Civil War wasn't brilliant, but it was good to the point where it was the first film in a franchise that actually nodded to every film in its franchise.
Yeah.
You know, seeing General Thunderbolt Ross in there was brilliant, because that took me back to The Incredible Hulk, which actually has no connection, apart from that little bit with Tony Stark at the end, to the rest of the series, you know?
Yeah. To be fair, it's probably my favourite superhero film of the year.
Right, okay.
And I put that just above Doctor Strange.
See, Ant-Man was still better.
Was Ant-Man this year? Or was it
Yeah,
last year?
I may have watched it.
Okay,
may have watched it 2016, but still, Ant-Man for me was better than Civil War, just because it was more funnier. I had a lot more.
I really enjoyed Ant-Man as well. It brought some levity and some comedy back into.
And like I said, it brings him into Civil War.
It set him up well to introduce him. Yeah. So Doctor Strange, you know, I paid in excess of £23, somewhere around that, to see this film in the cinema, which felt like a lot. But it was, you know, the 3D glasses, sitting in comfortable seats, going in at a prime time to watch the film. And it was good. Again, it was just good.
Yeah.
My biggest complaint is that Mads Mikkelsen had such a tiny role in the film that I was disappointed in his motivations as a villain. I guess his motivations were fine. I guess it doesn't have enough screen time to really make me care about this villain or to feel his presence in the film.
Was it more of a focus on, this is Doctor Strange, we've got to explain exactly who he is and what he does, so that when he comes into the next movie, you know who he is? I
like origin stories. Origin stories are usually the best in whatever series they're in.
Really? Wolverine Origins?
Okay. Usually, I did say. Origin films usually work very well. Batman, Spider-Man, Superman. And so for Doctor Strange, I enjoyed his backstory, but it kind of, when it got to the point of, here's how the powers work, this is what's going on, and then like a montage later, he's fucking all powerful. Near enough.
You need a montage.
Yeah, the montage, I was like, I want to spend more time here. I don't want to montage this sequence.
Did you hear that You're the Best playing while he was doing it?
Yeah. So, but altogether, it was, I enjoyed the ending as well, but it wasn't enough. Again, I've only had one viewing of the film, but it came to the point where I was burning out on superhero films, along with Suicide Squad, which I thought was mediocre. X-Men Apocalypse, again, I thought was mediocre. Not awful, not great, just, it's just okay. It's just another one.
This takes me back to what we were saying about going to the cinema and seeing all these films, and is that it can burn you out very quickly. I haven't watched Suicide Squad yet. I even bought it for the wife for Christmas, and it's still at the side of her bed, and I had the choice yesterday to watch that or Independence Day Resurgence, and I chose Independence Day Resurgence because I just wanted to see aliens kick shit out of people.
I enjoyed Independence Day Resurgence a lot more than I probably should have done.
It's same with Deadpool. Everybody rushed to see Deadpool in the cinema. Everybody came out of the cinema saying it was absolutely the best film, and I just went, man, I'll wait until it comes out on DVD so I can watch it at home. I still enjoyed it, and I'll enjoy Suicide Squad, and the same thing with Doctor Strange. The wife said to me, should we go see Doctor Strange? I said, no, you go and take Tom to see it, because the two of them, Linda and my stepson, they've seen every Marvel film in the cinema together.
Yeah.
So I'm like, go spend some family time. I'll watch on DVD. When I'm sat at home 8 o'clock at night with a beer in my hand and my boxer shorts. I'd rather do that than spend like in the excess of 23 to 30 pounds to go and see it, to then come out and sit there for 6 months until I can watch it again to see if what I saw actually was as good as what I thought it was.
I definitely say that I think it's one of those films that really does work on a big screen. Like, if you have the chance to see it on an IMAX, or at least see it on a projector, on a cinema screen, the special effects in it are phenomenal.
Yeah, but they're developed for that.
Yes, they are.
My thing is, how does it work on the home? Does it?
Like I said, I haven't returned to it yet.
Yeah.
I might enjoy it more, might not. Okay, so those, the Marvel films are kind of waning on me a little bit. I might turn my head around yet.
Yeah.
Who knows? You mentioned it just now. It's contender for my film of the year.
Yeah.
Deadpool.
Yes.
Deadpool, it was amazing. I watched it midnight release, and then I went in and watched it 2 days later. It's so very rare that I will watch a film in the cinema twice. I enjoyed it so much. I was defending Ryan Reynolds the moment he was cast as Deadpool.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy's got it. Don't miscast him. He's been in some dreadful movies so far. Yes, we all remember.
No, see, this is the thing. Deadpool came out. I went and purposely watched Green Lantern because I enjoyed Green Lantern. And I've always stood by Ryan Reynolds. The only film I don't like Ryan Reynolds in is fucking Van Wilder, Party Liaison.
I haven't watched that, but I didn't like him in the Amityville remake.
Oh, man, the Amityville remake was brilliant. He played a good father because it reminded me of the father from the 70s, The only thing is that, yeah, he, like with Ben Affleck again, he's the good-looking guy, and can he act?
Yeah.
He can act. It's not his fault the way he looks. When I saw him in Green Lantern, a lot of people were like, that movie's absolutely shit. But it was the first Green Lantern movie I'd ever come out, and it was a different thing from DC. There was no Batman, there was no Superman. Ryan Reynolds going around with his green ring, beating the crap out of aliens. It was cool. I enjoyed it. So when people were like, Ryan Reynolds is playing Deadpool, I'm like, boom. He's going to fucking rock that. And then you watch, they had that released footage, and I'm like, okay, this is violent, And then people were coming out of the cinema saying, he swears a lot. And I'm like, but it's a Marvel movie.
Well, it's Deadpool.
Yeah, but that's it. But it's a Marvel movie. This is for children. People were complaining. I took my children to see Deadpool, and it was full of this, that, and the next thing. And I'm like, well, you don't know Deadpool, then, do you? Like you said, it's Deadpool, the merc with the mouth, the fourth dimension breaking, fucking indestructible.
It's changed
mouth.
cinema this year. It's. For the last 15 years, I've been saying, fuck you! When you make an alien movie a PG movie.
Yeah.
Fuck you! When you bleep out yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker! Stop dumbing down and making these movies for kids.
Yeah.
The audience that love these films has grown up.
Yes.
So stop making these films for younger people. So that was my argument. And so I was just so happy that the more R-rated films are now in development. The studios are going, oh, wait a minute, there is actually an audience for adult content.
Yes.
Surprise, surprise. And so Deadpool has just blown expectations out of the water. And obviously it's sequels in the works.
Yeah.
So again, scary territory when you have something as so successful as Deadpool. Again, he breaks the fourth wall as well. And so he does sort of riff on the fact that there's not enough money in Deadpool. They don't have enough for the actors.
Yeah.
Everything about Deadpool just worked for me. It's definitely contender for film of the year for me.
Yeah.
Sausage Party.
Haven't seen it yet, but I've heard a lot of good things.
God, Sausage Party. I thoroughly enjoyed watching Sausage Party. So much so that I almost went back to watch it a second time and to bring people with me, but I decided not to. Because there was a bit of controversy going on around the film with the animators in Canada, I believe, not being paid for all the overtime that they did on the film.
Ouch.
And so it was like, who's at fault here? I'm not going to pay any more money to this film if people that made the film are not even getting paid for it.
Yeah.
So it was I've not gone back to check whether that had been resolved, whether it had been disputed, whether it was even fake news.
Yeah.
But still, it can't take away the fact that I laughed my ass off watching Sausage Party. It was to the point...
It's Seth Rogen again, isn't it?
It was so gratuitous to the point where I was like, that's really funny. And then it carried on doing the same joke. I was like, it's not funny anymore. It's the same joke. And the joke kept going to the point where it was funny again. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe they're getting away with this. This is a film that will never, ever be able to be done live action.
No.
It's so damn good. And if you haven't seen it, and you have a filthy sense of humour, you like Seth Rogen, you have to see Sausage Party.
Yeah, for me, Sausage Party is on my list, mainly because I'm a big Seth Rogen fan. I was very surprised I became a fan of him, but I noticed him majorly in Superbad.
Oh, yeah.
And then I purposely went out and watched The Green Hornet. This Is the End.
This is the End, my favourite.
There was just a lot of stuff, and I'm like, this dude is funny. If he's writing this stuff as well, writing these jokes, this dude is funny. I'd love to hang with Seth Rogen on a personal level. But seeing Sausage Party, the same thing. It's the same thing that happened with Deadpool. It's like parents were like, I sat my children down to watch this animated film, and I'm like, what the fuck were you thinking? I'd let my son watch Gladiator before he watches Sausage Party, because at least Gladiator's got less questions. He's gonna ask me. He's just gonna be blown away by the blood and gore and the violence. Sausage Party, there's a bun that looks like a vagina and a sausage.
Oh, they're going to get together. It's going to be filthy. Just
from the picture alone. And I love the trailer as well. The way the trailer delivers the fact that they are so naive to what goes on. And, as animated films go, if you're a parent, you're like, oh, well, it's all magical and stuff. And then they go, no, they fucking eat us. They skin us, they boil us, they burn us, and they eat us. And you're like, oh, shit, they've switched on.
Brilliant. It's one of those where you go, fuck, why did I think of that idea? Jesus. So good. The Hateful Eight.
Yes.
Came out very early in the year. And Quentin Tarantino, Ian, I don't think we've ever talked about him.
We've never got round to him, mainly because, our film reviews and our audience make us go one way, and then when we finally get hold of the reins of taking the film choice again, we immediately go a completely other way.
Yep.
And we've been asked multiple times by people, especially throughout this year, especially after the release of Fateful Eight, when are you going to do a Quentin Tarantino movie? And I'm always like, where the hell do we start?
Reservoir Dogs.
I was only saying this to you a couple of weeks ago. I saw a trailer online for Destiny Turns on the Radio, which has Quentin Tarantino in a starring role. His role in this film is longer than his role in Dusk Till Dawn, and like you said, I remember seeing him in my best friend's birthday, a black and white movie on Channel 4 back when I was like 13, 14, and he gave an analogy in the kitchen about how Top Gun is gay.
Yes,
and his view on the language, and I was immediately blown away. The rest of the film in my memory is dissolved, but his piece always stuck with me. Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Death Proof,
Kill Bill,
Volume 1, Volume 2. It was amazing. Hateful Eight. As soon as I saw the trailer, I was like, I'm done. Why? Because it's got Kurt motherfucking Russell in it.
Absolutely. Kurt Russell was magnificent in that film, and it was so good to see him acting again. I'd not seen Kurt Russell film in ages, and it was like, Kurt Russell again in Tarantino movie after Death Proof. Oh my God, awesome! And Samuel Jackson also delivering a brilliant performance in that film.
Remind me, it's the other guy that they pick up at the beginning. I can't remember his name. It's that guy. Is he it's bitch raping time from Predators?
I think so. Yes.
Oh my God!
I believe it is. And they all give such great performances. It's one of the best Tarantino films.
Yes.
I enjoyed it. The revelations, the way that it's broken into chapters, the long scenes, it's a very much an actor's movie.
It's
the storm,
the scenery, the way it's set. I was very surprised of Channing Tatum.
Yes, yeah.
I was very surprised he was even in it. I was surprised about his role in it. I think it's Jennifer Jason Leigh playing the main woman. She was amazing in it as well. Yes, The Hateful Eight. If you are a Tarantino fan, you've already got it. You've already got it on DVD. You're watching it. If you're not, but you like westerns, it's not really a western because it's set up in the cold north, but it's still got 6-shooters and cowboy hats. Absolutely, yeah.
Brilliant. Star Trek Beyond.
Oh yeah, I'm done. I'm a Star Trek fan. I love this movie.
I didn't just love Star Trek Beyond. I put it up there as possibly the second best Star Trek film in the entire Star Trek library of films.
Yeah,
I loved it so damn much, and I love Simon Pegg.
Yes,
and knowing that Simon Pegg is a big Star Trek and Star Wars fan, and he's a fan of pop culture. He's a fan of everything. He gets it.
He's amazing. Yes,
he wrote the script for Star Trek Beyond, and for me, it's felt like I enjoyed Star Trek. With the reboot Star Trek.
Yeah. Star Trek,
I enjoyed that one. I loved the cast being resurrected almost by these fresh-faced actors.
Yeah,
I thought they did it very, very well. Carl Urban as Bones Carl
Urban is amazing.
It's just amazing.
I have problems with Into Darkness.
I don't understand this.
because
I don't.
every Star Trek film has been its own story.
Yes.
And now they've decided that Star Trek Into Darkness is going to be a reboot of The Wrath of Khan.
Yes.
And it's like, why? Just tell a story. Tell a new story.
Because Khan still exists in that universe.
Yeah, but they didn't need to tell that story again.
Yes, but it's...
They didn't need to go over it again.
Yeah, but
it
they
was
don't need
blasphemous.
to. But
it was
why
it
Wrath
is
of
the
Khan?
most insulting thing they could have done to a fan of Star Trek. Oh, yes, Ian.
No,
oh,
no.
yes.
We're going to argue here. Mainly because every Star Trek fan would say Wrath of Khan is the best.
Yes.
Yes. So if you're a studio or a director or a producer and you are resurrecting
they tried.
the lineage,
They already tried to remake it. Most of the TNG films were Wrath of Khans. Absolutely.
Well, yes, but they didn't work because it wasn't Kirk versus Khan. It wasn't Spock and Kirk versus Khan. It was Picard. Picard would not last. I'm not being I'm maybe controversial here, and I stand on my own with this one. Picard wouldn't last 2 seconds against Khan because he's too peaceful. We saw that so many times in the Next Generation movies. Picard had every chance to open fire.
Picard is aggressive in the movies. He's a pacifist in the TV series.
Yeah, that's the problem. Kirk was aggressive in the TV series and aggressive in the movies, and then this Kirk comes along. I'm a Star Trek fan. I love all the Star Trek movies. Some of them are a little bit less exciting than some better ones. Like Nemesis. Star Trek Nemesis is like the last one I will ever watch. I'll watch Undiscovered Country
before Nemesis.
Nemesis.
I cannot stand Nemesis.
And Insurrection.
Either.
I'll watch Insurrection before Nemesis. Into Darkness. I like. What was it? Benedict Cumberbatch. Benedict Cumberbatch is an amazing actor for me. Him playing Khan was brilliant. Peter Weller was in it. I love Peter Weller. I love the development of the story, the bringing in the Klingons as well, and it sets up beyond. It sets up beyond because the first Star Trek remake was too blinding. Fucking J.J. Abrams trying to blind me with white lights. I was glad in the second and third one they didn't have that
as much. Yeah.
Yeah, and the development of the characters, because that's what you're going back for. The original movies and the Next Generation movies. The Next Generation movies did it a little bit. This new one, you're following the relationship of Spock and Uhura.
Yeah.
You're watching Kirk develop from this rogue, good-looking, bashful guy.
Really maturing into being the captain of the Enterprise.
Yeah, and being responsible. McCoy, he's still the same, but he's friends with Spock.
Yeah,
really,
the cynicism is still there, but the friendship's there as well.
Yeah,
Star Trek Beyond just brought the cast together, and of course, it was very sad. I teared up at the very end when young Spock or alternate Spock pulls the picture out of Leonard Nimoy's belongings, and it's the original cast photo of the original crew. Obviously, the passing of Leonard Nimoy, remembering this old crew. It's so emotionally powerful, and of course, unfortunately, the actor Anton Yelchin also passed away just after Beyond.
Totally, unfortunately, and that is another reason why I'm just like, that's why I can love Star Trek, because all the people that we've lost over the years, we've already said it before. You remember them. Anton Yelchin playing Chekhov. Sometimes his Russian accent grinds me.
Yeah,
but then, Walter Koenig's accent of Chekhov in the original one grind me, so it's a good feeling. It makes me just want to watch them all over again.
And so my film of the year, the film that I enjoyed the most and was a real surprise, Creed,
the Rocky one.
Rocky, what, 7? Is it
Rocky Adrian's Revenge?
Now I always believed that. Well, I think Creed was originally intended to be a TV series.
Okay.
And it was going to, revolve around Apollo Creed's son who gets into the boxing ring and fights on.
Yeah.
I never expected it to be a Rocky story. I never actually expected Sylvester Stallone to even reprise the role of Rocky, yet alone be the co-star of the film.
Really? See.
And so when I watched the film, when Sylvester Stallone turned up, I was like, oh, wow. Okay, so I knew this was in the Rocky universe, and this was going, but Sylvester Stallone is now the co-star of this film.
Didn't he write it?
I think he did write it as well. Yeah, I think. But it was the fact that I've loved the Rocky series. I've grown up with the Rocky series. Rocky 1 is my favourite movie of the series.
Yeah.
I also like 5 for some. I know it's the weakest one. I know it's the weakest one.
I don't know. Thunder Lips is pretty weak.
But I like the fact that it tried to bring it back to the origins of Rocky 1, whereas 2 and 3 and 4 were very cartoonish.
Yeah.
But still great films. They still carried the character of Rocky through them.
Yeah.
And so I loved Rocky Balboa.
Yeah.
We sort of ended it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I still want more Rocky.
Yeah.
We've had more Rambo and we've got the Expendables, but I like Rocky. His story's not over.
It's the underdog
He might
story,
not be boxing anymore, but now he gets to play the trainer role, and I love the story. And he obviously, Rocky has his own battle in the film, and it's with cancer.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit, we've had this year of all these celebrities getting old and dying, and now Rocky has got cancer, and it's like. But it works in the film. It really works. It also helps really drive the Creed character.
Yeah.
And it just made it one of the most heartwarming, memorable films of the year. I went through the gambit of emotions and I was surprised. And it was because I probably had fairly low expectations that I was positively blown away by the film.
And like you said as well, you've already said it, is that so many superhero movies you kind of got bored of, saturated. They were fun, but you knew what you expected.
I gave up on the characters.
Yeah, the Creed was a real superhero.
It was character driven.
Yeah,
yes.
he started off as a nobody, and he's working, and that for me. I haven't seen Creed yet, but it's on my to watch list because I myself again I'm a Rocky fan, shall I say. All of them are absolutely brilliant. Some of them are a little bit weaker here now. The street fighting at the end of Rocky 4, is it? Is that Rocky 5? Yeah, the street fight at the end of that one is nowhere near as good as the fight against Mr. T or Dolph Lundgren, or going up against Apollo Creed in the first and second one, I believe. So, but it's that story of watching Sylvester Stallone as Rocky overcome these challenges. He's gonna fucking win that final fight and get that championship back, but you're egging him on. You're in the crowd, Rocky. You're like, yeah, fucking brilliant. So when it then comes to Creed, you look at Sylvester Stallone as the Mickey character.
Yeah.
And that just brings you back all your memories of all the stuff that Mickey used to say to Rocky.
Burgess Meredith.
Yeah, and you hope that Rocky's remembering this stuff so then he can pass the torch. Creed for me is a definite passing the torch movie. It's not a weak Lester one. It's Sylvester Stallone turning around and saying, look, I'm not going to be here forever, but I want somebody to at least excel. And if we get Creed 2, Creed 3, Creed 4, Creed 5, and then Apollo Creed, I'll be happy with that because then you've got like 10 fucking boxing movies.
I'm not a big fan of boxing movies either. I mean, I saw the De Niro one with Sylvester Stallone, grudge match.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god,
Yeah, so you got to watch Raging Bull. Have you seen Raging Bull?
I've seen Raging Bull.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's why they got the two of them together for it.
Yeah, Raging Bull is amazing, but that's a realistic story, dramatization. Rocky always cements for me the surprising nature of Sylvester Stallone. The fact he can act and write and direct and win Oscars. People just remember him because he speaks like this, and I'm like, no, there's
some talent there too.
There's some talent. That brings us back to Ben Affleck and his talent, and you're just like, there's a lot behind the scenes that people don't realize.
This is true. Well, we've kind of gone over time, Ian. So that was just a selection. Creed is the one I remember the most. Looking at the films that came out of the year, I go, that one affected me the most.
Yeah.
But there are films I still haven't seen yet, and I'm just going to name a couple of them that are on my immediate-ish to watch list. Because I might not get to them yet still. So I still have The Witch to watch. I've heard so many positive things about it. It's a very interesting movie. I really want to watch it. Arrival came out at the end of the year.
Is that the weird...
The sci-fi aliens
sci-fi
are trying
one,
to communicate with us. We don't know what the hell they're saying.
Yeah.
10 Cloverfield Lane.
Got it on DVD if you want to watch it.
Yeah, I have the film here. I haven't watched it yet. I've had the film here for several months.
I haven't watched it yet either.
I do want to see it. Green Room.
Yes.
Anton Yelchin Patrick
again.
Stewart.
Yeah.
I've heard very good things about it. It's a band that ends up playing for a bunch of Nazis, but they don't know they're Nazis, and then it unfolds. And then second to last, The Hunt for the Wilder People.
That looks brilliant with
I'm
Sam
a
Neill.
huge fan of Sam Neill. It looks like he's playing a very old, disgruntled Grant from
He's very
from Jurassic Park.
unrecognisable at first.
Yeah. But he's out in the wilderness and he's helping this small boy get back to where he needs to go, and the two of them sort of bond. And I'm like, that looks like a really sweet story.
Yeah.
I have to watch that. Big fan of Sam Neill. And Spectral.
Yes, we've
Now,
had a lot of
this
things with
isn't necessarily on my to watch list because I saw the trailer for Spectral on Netflix and went, this looks garbage. This actually looks like a live action Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within.
Yeah.
It doesn't look right. But I've been requested like 10 times over the Christmas. Hey, what do you think of Spectral? Hey, you should watch Spectral. So now I'm gonna watch Spectral. Might not necessarily review it. But if we get to podcast 2, I will mention whether I've seen it or not.
Looking at your list there, I've wikied all those films. I could tell you all.
I don't want no spoilers, Ian. Christ. Okay, so because we're going into overtime, we're not going to take a break in. And because the next section is going to be shorter because it's the questions and comments section.
Yes.
And we don't have any questions or comments
from
the viewers. This is because it's the first one.
It's the first one.
But I have written down just a couple of questions that we do get all the time.
Yes.
So, question number 1. When will you re-upload videos of videos that have disappeared?
Well, see, now this is the difficulty. As it's only Gary and myself doing the film reviews and the game reviews and obviously the podcasting, things like that, it's finding the time to go back and re-edit. You know, we've got to go through the hard drives to find the review, to bring it back, to load it back up, to find that point, to re-edit it, then get it back up onto YouTube. And sometimes YouTube changes its lawship or whatever while we're waiting to do these films. So we re-edit that one bit and then send it up, and then they go, oh no, this bit's been flagged, this bit's been flagged. And so what could take a small 3 hours just to re-edit turns out into 3 weeks
or more
because we're trying to rebalance it and trying to get it up with other reviews and stuff like that, and the timing is just well off.
It is indeed. So we have reviews like Child's Play,
The
Fast and the Furious, Alien vs Predator's gone down again.
Yes. The Lego Movie.
The list of them, it just keeps piling up, and it gets to the point where I'm like, we've lost more than 15 videos due to copyright ID claims, or they've been blocked worldwide. And so I'm like, I just put them all there, and I take a note of all the time indexes that they need editing.
Yeah.
And then it all depends on which review we're currently editing for upload. And it gets to the point where we end up doing a review that has never gone up, that takes more than 60 renders in order to get it past the copyright system, which then just adds a blockage to all the other videos that we also need to render and upload multiple times in order to find the sweet spot where it gets past copyright censorship, copyright infringement, and ID strike. So, re-uploaded videos, and I also have to say that over the course of time, some of those reviews that have gone up have sat on hard drives, patiently just stored away.
Yes.
That video's then been flagged for copyright, and so we load up that hard drive and bring that video across, only for that hard drive to have been corrupted.
Oh, yes.
The videos that are blocked online, if I've deleted them, they're gone. Some of them, even though they're blocked worldwide, I cannot even download from the YouTube to get a working video file to go back and edit with. And so some reviews from our library are lost forever.
Yes, yes.
You know, I've mentioned it before, Poltergeist Trilogy review is gone forever. And I will say now, we have reviewed Poltergeist again.
Yes.
The first one. Because it's a Patreon request, and it is in the works. And I promised it would have been out last year, but it might be January, maybe February before you see that review now. And it is because of the system. We work as fast as we can to the point of YouTube's, filtering us as we go.
And exhaustion to ourselves as well. You know, trying to get everything in.
We'll take a break as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is an ongoing process. So question 2 is, how soon after you've made a request on Patreon will you see the review go up?
I'd say if you're lucky, but if the film is not as heavily held by their company, it'll be about 3 weeks.
Films from Miramax in Universal Studios are going to take longer.
Yes.
Because they are so strict on
Universal.
what content you can use. Universal are the worst.
Universal are the worst.
20th Century Fox, is hit and miss. New Line Cinema and a bunch of the others are fairly lenient.
Yes, yeah.
For the timing of clips that we can use. So when you make your request, it's literally about the next week that we've managed to source the film if we don't have it already, watch the film, research the film, record the film. From that point on, it's usually at least another 2 weeks of editing before it goes through its first draft, and then hopefully, because I hate releasing a first draft review onto YouTube.
Yeah.
As an audience, if you've watched all of them, you'll know some of them are slightly ropier than others, and it was because time constraints. We make sure a video goes up on a Thursday without fail.
Yeah.
How polished it is comes down to how much time we've been able to spend on it.
Yeah, yeah.
So from the point that you make a request on Patreon, you can usually expect 3 weeks at a minimum. However, you might also get to the point where me and Ian are ahead of ourselves in our editing.
Yeah.
And there's also 6 other Patreon requests in front of you.
Yes.
It does literally go from the time the request is made on the priority list of completion as to what goes up next.
Yes, Patrons always take priority.
As soon as a Patreon request comes in, it is, without fail, the next review we do.
Yes.
It's just getting it up and online is the next battle, and I can never give you a definitive answer as to how soon we can get that video up for you.
Yes.
But just so long as you know, we're doing it. We are doing it.
We are always working. The thing that pisses me off the most is when we spend hours, days, weeks getting a review ready, polished, finished, audio in sync. Everything looks absolutely pretty. We get it past the copyright. We stick it up. It goes live. Fucking 500 people watch it. We get a bunch of comments, and then YouTube turn around and go, "That bit's too long. You need to take it down." That's what pisses me off, because if your system is so good, and we know your system is good because we get told where it needs editing, and sometimes in a video there's multiple sequences, right? This sequence here, and this sequence here, they're all too long. Fine, that's what we can work with. If it gets flagged and it says this sequence here, we're like, well, okay, fine, we'll re-edit it, and then we stick it up again, and they go, no, this sequence is too long. And I'm like, why didn't you fucking tell me that in the first fucking flagging?
Save the whole rendering it out. This is why you have to render it out every time you finish a video to upload it to see if it's going to choose a different spot in your review.
Yes.
And obviously, the length of our reviews has gone on quite a bit over the years.
It's because you ramble, man.
Well, that's exactly. You ramble. I just give them trivia.
Yes.
And so because the length of the videos are longer, it means we've doubled our editing time, and then it also doubles re-uploading and rendering time.
Yep.
And so the nightmare continues. But, we're just explaining that to you guys so that you know what it is that we are doing, and we are doing what we need to do to make sure that's content for you.
Yes.
I always feel like I need to apologize every week on a Thursday if I feel like it's a third draft, not a final draft video. I've not been able to give it one more once through.
Yeah.
But
because we're working on something else.
That's because we're already working on old reviews or the next review.
The next review, yeah.
So the next question, in question 3 is, why are the audio levels in your reviews all over the place?
I can answer that very quickly. It's because I'm loud.
And we only have one microphone.
Yes. We don't have the production value and the budget to go out and buy all of the top, equipment and clipping microphones and HD cameras and stuff like that. We've got stuff that we've been working with 4 or 5 years since the very start, and we'd love to, but that shit's expensive, and some of us work and have to pay bills that we cannot. We tried to save, I saved some money to buy a new camera for us, and then and had to use that money to go and fix up stuff in my house. I felt really bad too, because I really wanted that camera, but priorities. I already said this before. Priorities take precedence, and the camera wasn't broken. We could still carry on using it, and we still had to use it. Sometimes we will work our asses off to make sure that those audio levels are in sync. But in the rendering process and the uploading process, there's a few things that jump out of place where we go, hold on a minute, that's not in the video that I've got here on my editing software. Why is that there? And you've got to take it down and re-edit it. And every time you make those tiny little changes, something will change somewhere else.
The butterfly effect, where you don't even aware of the change it's caused later on in the editing bar.
Yeah,
It's like,
and you don't even realize there are sometimes I'll call Gary up and be like, dude, did you realize that's in that video? And he's like, no. And I'm like, shall we take it down?
sometimes in the editing bar, all the credits are fine. We render out the video, we upload the video, we play the video back, and all the credits are missing from the video. And it's like, why didn't you render it? Like, you just chose not to on this pass.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, for the audio levels, we have one microphone for both podcasting, audio gaming, and movie reviews. We want to get more. It is expensive.
Yeah.
You know, the money that we are making from Patreon and from advertisements right now is literally just enough just to support us living.
Yeah.
And staying alive. It's not really enough. Well, that's no fault to you guys listening.
No.
We just want to say how it is.
Yeah, we use the money when and if we can for stuff that we just want. It's kind of like a bonus.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always shocked whenever I see people who are doing gaming Twitch videos, the amount of money that gets thrown at these people just to play those games. And I'm like, I want the audience to do that for us, but then at the same time I'm like, no, I don't do this just so people will throw money at me, because it's kind of like prostitution.
It is. Some people are like, here, I paid my Patreon money, now dance to the tune of this movie review. Oh my god.
I do it, and we do it because we enjoy it.
Yes.
And if tomorrow they turned around and said, you're not making any more money from this, you cannot make any more money from doing stuff on the internet, we'd still keep doing this.
Yes.
Because it's what we do. We find it fun. We enjoy interacting with you guys. We enjoy spending time with ourselves, watching some stupid movie and arguing or enjoying it or whatever. It's just, it's our thing.
Yeah. Okay, well, question number 4, Ian, is how do we choose what film we are going to review next?
Well, as we already said, Patreons take precedence. We always look at it as a list. Patreons take precedence. Then it's a film that's been requested in the comment section
multiple times from multiple different people.
Multiple times, multiple different people. And then thirdly, it'll come down to a choice between you or I. It'll be a case of, right, what are we doing? What are we reviewing next week? Okay, I really want to do this. Okay, yeah, let's do that. When we first started doing it, it was just, literally, it was off the shelf. We picked a film, we reviewed it. I spent 2 years, I'd say 2.5 years, arguing with Gary that we had to branch out and do films that he was uncomfortable in doing. And he always argued, why? What is the point? Why do I have to sit there so that the audience can laugh at me hating a movie? And I'm like, because that's the reality. It's the reality of it. I managed to finally convince him to do Dirty Dancing one day, which I thought was a goddamn breakthrough. And that wasn't even a request. That was me like, dude, we should just do Dirty Dancing. I think it was around about the time Patrick Swayze passed away. And I was like, we need to do this film because it's Patrick Swayze. That's another thing as well.
Unicorn.
I suppose, yeah, I suppose that's number 4 as well. If an actor or an actress passes away,
sometimes it feels
we have a time.
Sometimes it feels a little bit like you're cashing in on that actor's death by making a video to get views because we're talking about an actor who just passed away. And so I can see it from that way, but at the same time, we love our actors.
Yes, we're paying homage to them. Like I said,
we want to talk about them and remember them.
Yeah.
And so let's share our thoughts with them.
Like last year, David Bowie passed. We did The Hunger. I'd never even heard of The Hunger or seen it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Alan Rickman passed away. We knocked out Galaxy Quest, which was absolutely fun. And then Die Hard. Carrie Fisher. We've already done Drop Dead Fred, but I'd love to do any of the Star Wars movies. And the list just goes on with actors and actresses that we just pay homage to.
Yeah.
But like we said, with priority always goes to Patreons. And before, we always sit there like, oh, one day we're just going to just be Patreon requests. And it's just going to be constant Patreon requests.
It might get to that point where I've said that if we get to a certain number of patrons and we have requests that take us beyond where we've ever been able to plan ahead for it. And I say now, since we started, we've only ever planned a week in advance. We've never planned this. Oh, actually, I'll take it back. The only times we ever plan is for the October movie review marathons.
Yes, the Halloween series.
That's when we work round the clock, double time to produce. We love Halloween and horror movies, so it's our time of celebration too.
We start Halloween in summer.
Yes.
Yes. We're like last year was Hellraiser. Do you know how long it took for us to watch 9 Hellraiser movies and then sit
and edit them and then also work on the other videos too?
While we did
but
that.
It was great. I enjoyed that.
Yes.
But but week in week basis, we hardly know what's coming next week. At the moment, we do have at least 3 Patreon requests, so we know exactly what we're doing for the next month.
Yes.
Or for out January. More requests will come in, and so other patrons that have made requests have said, can I make a second request?
Yes.
And some patrons have already had their second request reviewed as well, and they have now made a third request, and they've been patrons for a long time. So other patrons have said, I've requested one film, when can I make my second? And it's a case of once all the patrons have made at least one request, and me and Ian have finally been able to
get on top of it,
put in some of the videos that we want to review. I put out a blanket email to all patrons saying, hey, give us your second request.
Yes.
Second and third requests from patrons are not going to be prioritized over new Patreons' first requests.
Yes.
So that there should give you guys an idea as to how we'll prioritize and choose what films we will review next. But granted, what I mentioned before, despite that being the plan, YouTube might have another plan for us. And so the priority of the new patron might still come last, even though it was made first because of YouTube's copyright detection system.
I am a firm believer in chaos, and I work towards chaos to work it into order. So whenever we just work and wing it, and so when they turn around and say, this is what film you're doing, I'm like, okay, yes. See you in 2 months.
Yes.
Because this film, YouTube is going to chew us up and spit us out, and we'll be lucky if we can even get it online. When we do get it online, we're like, boom, done. We're so happy. We're moving on to the next. We're already 2 or 3 steps ahead of ourselves while we're still doing one. But I'm always waiting for that one eventuality to come out and go, fuck you guys, go back to the drawing board.
Yeah. Okay, so question 5 is very similar to question 4. How do we choose what game to review on Fridays?
Well, this is easy. This is easy to answer. It's the games that Gary feels comfortable playing.
And recording and talking about.
Yeah, talking about.
Friday's gaming has been a mixed bag of what Jeff's been playing recently, what you or I have been playing recently, or any friends or visitors that are in the area that want to come in and talk about a game. Like Dan came in and talked about Binding of Isaac.
Yeah. Adrian came in and did Gears of War.
Gears of War and Titanfall. They might come back in and talk about other games in the future.
Yes.
I tend to try and pick games that complement the review that went up on the Thursday.
Yes, that's been something we've been trying to keep up with for like the last 6 months.
But it's not the main aim. It's not what I'm going out to do. But if we review Back to the Future, I'm going to review a Back to the Future game. If we do a RoboCop or Jurassic Park or Terminator, there's plenty of games for them.
Yeah, if you do a film like Schindler's List, it's really hard to do a game that incorporates Schindler's List.
Yeah, but I might find something like Valiant Hearts.
Yes.
Or something that's, that fits the nature or the tone. And sometimes I just want to review something that's off the shelf.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a game I remember from my childhood and want to talk about. And sometimes it's just something that's brand new and just come out and it's worth talking about.
Yeah.
So I don't really have any plan in advance yet again for the games. It's kind of, I want to talk about this game, or I want to go and look at this game now.
It works as well that we've got the games for games on gold on the Xbox One, because they release a lot of good games for free that we never got to play when they first came out, and so you're always there to download, to try it out, to see what it's like. If you're going to play it, you can knock out a video for it. For me, with all the work I do, especially at home and off the shelf, I have one game, maybe 2 games a year that I will play, and I won't go out and spend loads of money or download every single game that comes along because I haven't got time to play it. So it's difficult for me to just say, oh yeah, we're going to do this video, because I'm like, well, once we do it, what are we going to do after? You're always there to say, right, okay, I've done this game, I've done that game, now I'm just going to, I'll grab a game off a Mega Drive or a PlayStation or SNES or, oh, new game for gold, so I'll have to put them back. And so, you know, it's just like with the film reviews, it's a weekend planning thing.
Yeah, indeed. That's going to bring us to our last question, Ian, and that is, what happened to the guests on film reviews?
See now, I
think you already partially answered this question.
Yeah, with when we first started, I really wanted to get guests in, mainly because a third person gave a fresh perspective to the already new perspective that Gary and I were giving. But we had a day that we were recording, and then as the years went on, some stuff happened, the days kept moving around, and people weren't able to do this, and jobs and priorities, and so the only time we ever are able to get a guest in is if we've planned it like 2 or 3 months in advance. And then even then, it's lucky if that person still can make it for that day and can still sit there for 45 an hour recording before they've got to rush home and get back to their lives. I still want to get guests back in because I always found it so fun when you were battling with them, or I was battling them, or they were battling with us because we were both signing with each other. It was just always just so fun to get somebody in. But at the same time, with difficulty and priorities, the main basis is obviously for us to review. And then we get shouted at after. People will come back to us and be like, why didn't you get me in for that fucking movie? Why didn't you call it? It's like, because we were doing it Thursday night. It's 7:30. Ian was literally out the door as soon as it ended. You know, you were on holiday somewhere else. Oh, well, you could have fucking told me. It's just like, chill. If we can get you, we'll get you. If not, then no.
Well, at the same time, I also, you know, the format of the show is, you know, I did enjoy having the third person there because it did, as you said, it offered a different perspective on the conversation or the analysis of the film.
Yeah.
And a fresh perspective, sometimes from a female's perspective, which I always appreciate, looking at a film from a new way. But our chemistry, Ian, when we're talking, or can often exclude somebody from. I mean, just recently we re-uploaded The Ref over Christmas, and somebody commented and shouted at you and me for not letting Jeff get a word in edgeways.
Oh fuck! But if you ever fucking hear Jeff talk, you're lucky if you can get a word in edgeways.
Well, that's going to be it from us. That's the end of podcast number 1.
Yes, it's been so fun. We're hoping that this will, you know, become bigger. But at the same time, if you've sat through this whole thing and gone, God, you guys drivel on.
Or if you fell asleep listening to us,
wake up! You know, we want to see what you think. Put it in the comments section. You know, add any more extra questions. You know, we've got more trailers coming out this year, more games coming out this year, more celebrities dying this year. You know, hopefully we've got more stuff to talk about. If we can, we'll get more guests in. We could try and get Jeff in and Adrian and all the other people as well.
To fill out the podcast.
Yes,
indeed.
Yes.
So, of course, film reviews on Thursdays, game reviews on Fridays. You can find us on Facebook, find us on Twitter, and you can find us on Patreon. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you next time.
Peace out.